underperformed for a lot of this season, but tonight their playoff hopes are officially dashed in a 4-1 loss to Montreal.
A lot to appreciate. The Stars have wrapped up home ice advantage against...
Is it dead?
Terminated.
Will this melt in there?
Yes. Throw it in.
Adios.
Into chip.
It's over.
There's one more chip. And it must be destroyed also.
No. I order you not to go. I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
They're never firing Drury. He's here forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
And just kidding, everybody. Chris Drury still wouldn't take accountability and throw himself in the steal. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Big Apple Hockey, where the season has mercifully ended for one New York hockey team, but there's hope on the horizon for them. And the season is going to end, and you're just waiting for the Rangers to screw it up tonight and actually win this game. But welcome back, everybody. I, of course, am your host, Mark Williams. Delighted to be back with the Triforce of Wisdom and hockey that's right over here. With the man who is the host of the Final Buzzer, Mr. John Volkowski.
Yeah, we got Josh got it again. King nothing. Yep. But you know what? I don't like this comment right here. You're calling us the Saint Anger of hockey podcast, the Saint Anger snare of hockey podcasts. You mean to tell me that we sound like Lars Ulrich banging on Oscar the Grouch's roof? I take offense to that. I will take a lot of offense to that. And if I see you anytime in person, throw down, tap in.
There you go. And that's well deserved, because I never want to be compared to Saint Anger. And of course, the third part for the man from formerly of the Hockey News, Mr. Anthony LaRocco.
You're muted, Anth.
Disappointing season for the Islanders in terms of how it ended. Mostly it was a exciting season that saw them really, I would say at one point during the year, they had like an 80% chance of making the playoffs, but going, 1-6 in their final 7 games did them in. So that's disappointing, but you can't lose sight of the fact that, the future is still bright, and this year was supposed to be miserable. Turned out better than we thought.
Yeah, Anthony, I got to agree with you on that. And they were at one point the number one team in the NHL. Like, it only lasted like hours, I believe, but still they were right there. And we are going to be leading off with that in just a second, because let's get to the A block, which is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the promo code Big Apple Hockey for $20 off your first order. And there we are. We got the ticker right there. There's the A block banner. And also, don't forget, Big Apple Hockey Trucker Hatchet shirts are available. Click the link that's down below. But don't forget, everybody, coming up soon, we got a lot of content coming at you. We're going to have an Islanders only video about wrapping up their season, and as well for the Rangers, we're going to bring in some more of the Rangers.
Mark? Am I losing?
No,
I
hear you and see you moving, John. So I think it's Mark that's frozen right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was looking at other things. Rest in peace, Mark.
Mark.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, they are the Saint Anger podcast. They get better with age. Oh no. I mean, I don't think Saint Anger gets better with age. That's just me. I know some people will argue that it gets better. It was more for the delayed start, but I'll never turn down a reason for playing the triple loop of the Kurt Angle theme with the "You Suck" in the background.
Yeah, it has to have the "You Suck" in the. Has to.
Yeah, it has to have the "You Suck" in the background.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video. It's Big E, Kofi Kingston. It's the New Day. Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, Charlotte Flair, I think Liv Morgan, and a bunch of others. And they're all like at the edge of the stage, and they're all just dancing during Kurt Angle's theme playing. You're just all just going nuts, doing different shit. It's ridiculous. So, but yeah, Mark is frozen. So I'll take over.
Now he's gone. I don't even see his box in the screen anymore.
No, he had the reboot, I guess.
Yeah.
Are we talking the OG ECW? Or are we talking the WWE CW? So, AAA is good right now. I do like they're good. They're good. I would prefer them over CMLL. Honestly, I think WWE got the better end of that partnership. But back to hockey and trying to corral this a little bit. Yeah, what Mark was saying was basically that we're going to be doing some content, for the Rangers and the Islanders, respectively. Hopefully, we can get Jim to do some content for the Devils and the end of the season for them. And then I think maybe Friday we'll be doing a playoff preview. So we have Mark.
There you go, Mark.
Yeah, sorry guys, there was a power surge.
Ah.
So everything just kind of went out right now. Yes. We got a playoff surge.
Don't you manifest that bad energy. Between you and Brian, I don't know who I hate more right now.
Well, we actually do have an interesting question we might ask later in the pick'ems because me and Phil were talking about it before. But we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming at you the next couple weeks. Make sure you keep it here, and we'll work on trying to get guests and stuff coming in. Fortunately, my demise is greatly exaggerated. But Sunday, New York Islanders were eliminated from playoff contention and they lost to the Montreal Canadiens. During this week, Matthew Schaefer scored goal number 23 to tie him with Brian Leach for the NHL rookie record. More on that later. And the Islanders finish their short little taste of Pete DeBoer with a 1-3 record. Islander fans, don't focus on that, and we'll tell you why later. But Anthony, you look at the Metro standings. On the 24th, coming out of the Olympic break, the Islanders 69 points, and they were challenging they were in solid wild card position.
You mean solid third in the division position?
I think there might have been another power surge. He's frozen again.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like something going on with like the power in his home.
He is frozen.
Yeah. I mean, looking at these standings on the 24th of February, I mean, Islanders firmly in that third spot, and then you have Columbus, Washington, really kind of, going, kind of bringing up the rear right there for the wild card. And then you have, look at the Rangers, 50 points, and they finished with, 75. All right, Pete, Mark 2026 to 2026. Here we go again. Mark goes dark 2026. Power surge, meaning I forgot to pay the internet bill. But if we're talking about the Islanders, there goes my hero of Foo Fighters reference. Oh man. Islanders found ways to lose. I think this has been happening. We're going on 3 coaches now. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Mike. It happened a lot with Lambert. It happened with Waugh. And, Pete DeBoer comes in. It's only a few games, but, he couldn't get them to right the ship. I think it was a lot to ask. Like I said, I didn't think the Islanders were going to make it because it's a lot to ask from a coach to come in as an interim with 4 games left in the season. Expect him to be able to implement his system to the players and then get the most out of the players and have the players get that coaching bump. Yeah, I know Tortorella came into Vegas, but Vegas has got a better team. Like, and that's no offense to the Islanders, who really, for the most part, I mean, we're kind of playing this season with house money, in my opinion. So really taking a look at all of this, I mean, it's crazy to think that they went from that to being eliminated from playoff contention and the loss of the Canadiens. And, there's another situation that's going on in the Metro Division that we're going to talk about, obviously, in a little bit. But, Anthony, do you think that, with going on with, obviously with Schaefer, tying record, but the 1-3 record under DeBoer, do you think that there's any type of scenario in which players just didn't give enough and they needed to give more, and it was, or was it the coaching change that really kind of threw everything off, or what was the reason for their downfall?
Well, their downfall came under Waugh. I know they went 1-3 under DeBoer, but to try to put anything on him is, it's such short. He didn't have time to tinker with anything. As a matter of fact, the first two games they played under DeBoer, they let up, I think, 16 shots respectively in each game, which was clearly not happening under Waugh. They cut down on their chances against drastically under DeBoer. So I don't think it's fair to say anything about how DeBoer performed or what they thought of him. I think it's just a matter of they entered basically the worst stretch of their season at the absolute wrong time. And yeah, firing Waugh I think was necessary, and I think Pete DeBoer is going to be great for this team. And I think they just hoped they would catch lightning in a bottle here quick. But, I think you're going to see the true effect of Pete DeBoer starting next season. As for this season, they quite frankly, they just blew it. That's really all I'll say.
He's got everything working against us so far today, folks.
They blew it. Teams, basically every team at some point in the season, I think even the Avalanche had a stretch where, I think we were talking about on the show, Mark actually be worried about the Avalanche. I'm like, absolutely not. Every team has a streak in the season where they play their worst hockey. What happened for the Islanders was that it came at the absolute worst time. I have landscapers here right now, so let me get that for a second.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, really what I wanted to get at Anthony and kind of ask him was, like, is there a culture change needed on the island? Like, because for them to be in that position and then to come back and, play the way that they played, like, does that tell you that there were some guys that need to go?
I'm not sure about that exactly. My take on that, Phil, is I use the expression, the racing example, going to the whip. And Patrick Waugh was able to go to the whip so many times. You didn't see structure with them. You saw motivation. And they didn't exactly have a base that they go back to. And you're like, all right, this is what we're good at. We're going to do this to you. Sometimes they would dominate offensively. Sometimes they get dominated offensively, but still come out with a 2-1 lead. Or get dominated, Ilya Sorokin holds them in. Then they play spirited hockey for a few minutes, take the lead, and then again, Sorokin kind of holds everybody at bay. They end up winning the game. There's only so much you could do with moxie, and that's the thing. I looked at this team, and I just constantly thought, I don't think it's the culture. And especially Pete DeBoer coming on in, I think they were just worn out in the end because they did everything on adrenaline. And this is my opinion. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I think they did everything on adrenaline this season. They relied on Sorokin to keep him in games. That would spark them. They'd come back from even 2-3 goal deficits at times. And you go, all right, then the next thing you know, they're winning the game. Like 2 minutes will go by. Bang. Islanders, look up at work. Like, the Islanders have the lead now. They were just getting dominated. And it's I don't think there's a need for culture change, but there's need for evolution, though. And that's what Pete DeBoer.
Oh no, yeah, definitely not culture. Lee and the leadership. The culture in the Islanders room is one of the better ones in the league. There's never a culture issue with that team. it's sorry to cut you off, Mark. It's honestly
here's what I think I've been getting at. Was it a coaching issue, or was it just the players not delivering, or was it both?
I think players not delivering for sure. I think the clock has run out on the core group that have been there since the conference final runs. I think, and you're going to see that change this offseason. But let's face it, Mark. What you touched on it. Ilya Sorokin was holding them up. They were getting by with elite goaltending from Ilya Sorokin. And at the last, week, 2 weeks here, he ran out of gas. He's been under siege the whole year. His high danger save percentage was like a video game at some point. His high danger save percentage was better than some goalies' actual regular save percentages. Like the amount of inner slot chances that Mike Kelly kind of was listing, by far he faced the most in the league. He got worn down. David Riddick wasn't to be trusted anymore. He started that game against Chicago, got pulled after the first period, and I think Watt and Darsh said, okay, well, we're in a playoff race here. We can't trot this guy out anymore. And Sorokin's sitting here under siege, and he started to wear down a little bit. And, when you weren't being held up anymore by high-level goaltending, the team took a dip, and you saw it. And, 1-6 in that 7-game stretch, and they missed the playoffs, Even if they go 3-4 in that 7-game stretch, they probably hold off the Flyers and make the playoffs, because one of those games in that 7-game stretch was against the Flyers. So yeah, I mean, they didn't even have to be awesome down the stretch to make it. They just had to be average, and they were well below average at 1-6 in their last 7 games, and they missed the playoffs because of it. And as I touched on in the open, the only reason why this is upsetting is because it did look for a while that they were locked to make the playoffs. And, that the whole narrative that they were going to be bad this year kind of messed with people's minds, because now people are viewing it as a disappointing season, which I get. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, they weren't expected to do anything this year anyway. But because they were there the whole year, that's why this thing stings right now, especially for the guys in the room. And, Thomas Hickey and Brendan Burke, towards the end of the game, they were talking and just saying, kind of putting a wrap on the season. And you could tell the way Hickey was talking about Lee, it was almost like he was getting kind of like emotional, because Hickey played with Lee for a long time. So if you read the tea leaves, it seems like they're going to probably let him walk, and there's going to be other changes. There's going to be other changes to this group now. And, Matthew Darsh, when he got hired, everyone's like, oh, he's going to go scorched earth. He's going to really put a stamp on the team. But he's like, no, I'm going to use this year as an evaluation year. The only regular he moved from last year was Noah Dobson. He wanted to see what he had in everybody. And now that a year's gone by, he knows each player well. He knows what he has. I think this is the year that he's going to, move regulars out. And who are they? I mean, you're talking, I don't think they're both going to go, but I think one of Adam Pelech or Ryan Pollock are going to go. I think Casey Zizekas, 1 year left at $2.5 million. I think his time is likely done. He's been, just like Martin and Clutterbuck, exemplified what it meant to be an Islander. Hustle, everything. But I think his time has come. Duclair, let's face it, the guy barely played. I think he's good as gone. They're gonna move him. I don't think
you might have trouble finding somebody for him.
Yeah, that could be a little problematic. But I heard that Duclair blocked the trade this year with his no trade clause. I would think he doesn't want to go through a year again where he barely plays. So I would think he'll gladly waive to go somewhere. But I don't expect him to be on the roster. There's just going to be turnover. There's going to be turnover, and I think Matthew Darsh is going to be aggressive. Philka said this before. I said it in one of my tweets before. The Islanders haven't had a 90-point player since Ziggy Palffy. They have a difference maker in net. They have a difference maker on defense. They need a difference maker at the forward position now, and I expect Matthew Darsh to be involved in trying to get that done. Whether or not he can, obviously that remains to be seen, and if some of these big names we've been hearing truly become available. But if they do, I expect him to be in the mix. But Yeah, it's safe to say that, this version of the Islander team is going to look pretty different than this past year.
Yeah, and Anthony, just to touch on one thing, I'm still more surprised. You could talk about 7 games or whatever, but you got to look at maybe even just 7 periods, maybe even 7.5 periods, because midway through that Pittsburgh game, it still looked like the Islanders are here, they're going to the playoffs. And then, holy crap, that team, like midway through that game, they just went off the ice and went, okay, see you later. Where our work is done. And the next thing you know, Pittsburgh takes it to them, scores 8 goals on the night. 7 of them, I think there's 7 unanswered. I forgot if the Islanders got one in the middle of that. But then just the Carolina game and the Philly game back to back, it was just horrendous. Phil, do you look at this Islanders season and go, and the reason why failure's in quotes, is it a failure?
No, not at all. I said at the beginning of the year they were playing with house money. I said it throughout the year when they were in a playoff spot. It was house money. They got an exceptional, likely Calder winning year out of Matthew Schaefer. They got a Vezina caliber year out of Ilya Sorokin. They reminded me of the 2005-2006 Rangers, except they just fell short of the playoffs. They needed that one dominant offensive force to really kind of carry their offense that they didn't have. And they needed that Yager type player. And otherwise they probably would have made it. The defense kind of let them down at times, but Matthew Schaefer started to show his age. He started to show his age. I think fatigue played a part in it too. You can't be playing this kid 26 minutes per game coming back from the Olympic break and not expect this guy to make mental mistakes. I said it after the Sabres game. The winning goal that Peyton Krebs scored from that pass from behind the net, Schaefer was puck watching. You literally can see his eyes behind the net and his back to Krebs. You don't make those mistakes if you are not fatigued and an 18-year-old rookie. A veteran doesn't make that mistake. But a kid that you're running into the ground at 26 minutes a game, yes, he's going to make that mistake. So, yeah, they tried to get everything that they could out of Sorokin and Schaefer and Horvat, and they needed help. They didn't have enough help. Palmieri, that loss hurt them. That's goals right there. Wow. That's goals. Romanov, that's 22 minutes per game on defense. That's physical play, that's shutdown play. Those injuries hurt them. I mean, they likely, I think they may hold off the Flyers and any other teams to get that playoff spot had they had a healthy team. But you know what? I'm not all right. So I'm gonna stop you right here, Johnny Red, and I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm going to
point.
disagree with that too.
I do agree that it's too much on his plate, but that's a hell of an experience for that kid. And for the way that he responded to getting that type of minutes, that type of responsibility, that shows you that you've got a stud in the future. Like, he's probably going to be average. At one point, he's probably going to average 25, 26 minutes a game for like a few season span. Like in his peak years, think about it. Think about what you're going to get in his peak years out of that kid. You're going to get a monster there. He's going to be a Norris finalist at the very least, if not take home a Norris or two. And I hate saying that because he's playing on the team that's right across from my team. So he's going to terrorize my team for another 10 to 15 plus years. Great. I have a lot to look forward to as a Ranger fan.
Yeah,
But
and especially,
you know
by the
what?
way, the next 4 years, consider who Pete DeBoer has coached and gotten results out of from the defensive position.
Yeah, I listen. I think he's in a great position. He's got a coach that's going to be able to develop him right. I worry about the forward sometimes with DeBoer, but you know what? DeBoer's done a decent job with defensemen. I mean, Miro Heiskanen, some of the other names that have over the years that he's Thomas Harlan, Brent Burns, somebody who he's worked with. I mean, listen, he has done a good job with defensemen. So you know what? Matthew Schaefer's in the right hands right now. I mean, I'm not going to prognosticate about down the road or anything with DeBoer, But I tell you right now, this experience is only going to help Matthew Schaefer next year. And I don't think Matthew Schaefer is going to go through a sophomore slump. I think he's going to have an amazing year next year. I would not be surprised if he scores 70-plus points next year. He's close to a point per game. But yes, this is true. Nobody terrorizes the Rangers more than the Rangers. But you know what? That's another.
We'll get to the Rangers soon enough.
We'll get to the Rangers in a little bit. I just want to highlight that one because I thought it was funny. But no, it's not a failure. It's not a failure. Who expected this team to be where they were? Who? Anthony, you didn't predict them there.
No, I mean, I thought they can maybe compete for a spot, but that was like I didn't know. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were this year.
No.
Would you have felt better if they were Columbus, where they fell behind, got hot, they hit the playoffs in one spot, but then just fell short?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Because again, at one point they were pretty comfortably in a playoff spot where it looked like that. Mark, I mean, for that graphic you showed at the beginning, 224, they were 8 points ahead of Philly. They were 8 points ahead of Philly. You know, it was a perfect storm of the Flyers just getting really hot, and the Islanders going through their worst losing streak of the season. Up until they recently lost 3 games in a row, they hadn't lost 3 games in a row until way early in the season. They were consistent. They didn't go on streaks where games got away from them. They didn't. And you know, like I said, it came at the worst time, and you know, now here we are. You know, another year of no playoffs, and now Matthew, again, like I said before, Matthew Darche is going to start looking at his roster and how he can improve. You know, but like I said, you know, it's never a good feeling when you miss the playoffs, but you know, Islander fans should keep their heads raised. You know, the future is bright. Just look, Victor Eklund tearing up the AHL after his season in Sweden ending. He comes, makes his debut with the Islanders last night, picks up a point in his first game. Cole Eiserman is in Bridgeport. He scored a goal on a one-timer the other night, and you saw, it's like, wow, this kid's shot is everything you say it is. Keyshawn Aitchison will be joining Bridgeport once his team in the OHL gets bounced out of the playoffs. Just before he went on air, Islanders signed Quinn Finley, who just lost in the national championship game with Wisconsin to a two-year entry-level deal. He'll likely be joining Bridgeport, sign an ATO, and join them for the playoffs. So the Cavalry's coming. A lot of their top prospects are signing. The Schaefer and Sorokin. You know, they're in a really good spot. It's just, you know, it hurts they didn't make the playoffs and Schaefer didn't get that experience. But yeah, you know, I'm very curious and, you know, excited to see what Matthew Darche has in store. There was a comment up above that I think NYR for Life X about Jason Robertson. You know, DeBoer, I think this is normal. If every coach comes in, you want to try to bring in some of your guys you're familiar with. If Robertson actually truly ends up on the market, I mean, DeBoer's telling Darche, you know, call Dallas, you know, get me my guy, or, you know, so I think Darche is going to be involved in things like that. And that's what they need. Ziggy Palffy, there was their last truly dynamic, just 90-point plus scorer, and they need someone like that. They need someone for, you know, Barzell to pass the puck to, because, you know, Barzell, 10-cent head and all, I agree with all that, but he had 72 points this year. 72 points this year with playing with, I mean, Emil Heineman, and, you know, like turning him into a 20-goal scorer. And, you know, so, you know, if you can get Matt Barzell talent like that, despite his warts, Barzell has another level he can get to as well. So, you know, 72 points for Barzell playing with the players that he played with. I think a guy like Jason Robertson would do wonders for the Islanders and Matt Barzell specifically.
Here's the question that I have. I mean, Anthony, I feel like this conversation about Barzell we've had for years. Like, can he get to another level? Can he get to that next level? And that level, I mean, maybe he got back to it that one time with that 1 year, 2 years ago, where he had the 80 points in 80 games. But do they make a decision to move on from him at some point?
I mean, if you move on from him, who's replacing him? I mean, like for instance, it would be let's just, this is strictly hypothetical. Let's say you make a hockey trade. You trade Barzal for Jason Robertson. Who's now passing Robertson the puck? I mean, Bo Horvat's a goal scorer.
It's not Bo Horvat.
Cal Ritchie is great, took big strides this year. He's going to play a bigger role, but is he? You know what I'm saying? So I think I would be surprised if they moved on from Barzal. I mean, the only way I could see it is, you talk about names like, the rumors about Austin Matthews, and like maybe if he was truly available and the Leafs didn't want to rebuild, you include Barzal in a deal like that, then I guess maybe something like that makes sense. But I don't think you're going to see a scenario where they trade Barzal for like picks or prospects. So I would be surprised if they moved him. But that's why I said, if you get him a player like Jason Robertson, who, let's face it, would be by far the best player he ever played with, I'm sure you would agree, and just goal scoring and everything.
Sure.
You might get the best from him.
No, I just wonder how long of a lead, and I know he's under contract long term. I get it, but I just wonder how much longer can this team wait for him to get to that level? Like, he's got another 5 years left on his deal at $9.15 million, but is $9.15 million worth it? I mean, I wonder about this guy. I think he's a phenomenal skater. He's got phenomenal hands. He can make plays, but there's just something about him that just, it's not there. It's not there. And I don't know if you can win with that being your number one center. If he's a playmaking winger, okay. Then who's your center? Bo Horvat, and then what? I mean, I think you need at some point to bring in a center that can really kind of change the dynamic of this team. And you're talking about going in a different direction. I don't know. I feel like we know what he is at this point. And I just wonder if he's like a 70 to 80 point playmaking, which isn't bad. It's not it's not bad.
I get everything. I get everything you're saying. I get everything you're saying. But would you agree though, if you get someone that's better than him and he doesn't have to be the guy, then he's fine. That's why I'm saying if you bring in Jason Robertson, he's not the guy anymore.
Okay. So what are you giving up to get Robertson?
Well, that's
because that's going to be if Dallas really, you know what? I don't disagree on this. He's got a slightly better shot than Stepan. He's a much better skater. Playmaking wise, it's pretty close. Stepan was a very good assist guy, but Stepan was probably a better defensive center, while Barzal was more of a dynamic playmaker. I think if Stepan played in today's game, he's probably a 60, 70 point center. As a two-way guy, too. He's probably up for a Selke. So,
yeah, but just close it out. Like, one of my thoughts on this. I mean, anybody that's going around calling this a failure, it's far from a failure. Everybody should be happy about this because, after all, you know who the coach is going to be next year, and it's one of the best coaches in the NHL. You have a great prospect pool that you have a GM that knows how to integrate it if you're going to base it off of what he did in his previous location. I mean, and there's a huge step. I've been telling everybody, nobody's going to be arguing about whether or not the Islanders need points to make the playoffs next year. It's whether or not they need points to win the division. That's how good they're going to be. I'm coming out and saying it right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pete DeBoer has that kind of ability, but it also really depends on what Matthew Darche can do. Of course, I think there's no doubt he's going to have him play much tighter defensively, and you already started to see it in a short sample size. They weren't giving up as much, and I think he's going to stress that. But they still need that next. They need more weapons. Everyone who said it, they're absolutely right. They need more weapons, and and just not rely on Schaefer, Sorokin so much. Get more of a better supporting cast in there. Cal Ritchie, 30 points in his rookie season. He really started to come on at the end. I think sooner than later he could be your answer at the second line center, but I still think you want to bring in another dynamic forward and don't force him to try to become that as soon as next season. But like I said, it should be an interesting summer.
Well,
Barzal-itis.
Barzal-itis. Well, speaking about teams that could always use some more weapons, you got the New York Rangers looking to finish their season tonight versus Tampa. Currently, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Stomby, have you heard this, Ranger fans? They were shut out for the 10th time this season. That was Saturday night. Second time on the road.
Nice.
Keep in mind, they were 47 seconds away from 11th shutout of the season, which would be 5 short of the NHL record. But fortunately for that didn't happen. Monday night, Cole Reinhardt, it is not any relation to Sam Reinhart, by the way. They spell the name differently. He scored his second goal of the game with 1:50 remaining to lock the Rangers into the bottom 4 of the standings. I got to be honest, guys. I celebrated that goal like it was an OT winner. That's how much that goal could mean something. Do you root for your team to lose? No, but you still want their benefits of being in the bottom 5, as the Toronto Maple Leafs are now joining them right now. Calgary's got more regulation wins. I would put them behind the New York Rangers for 4th. And you look at the lottery chances right here. Also Monday was Jonathan Quick's final game, losing his final game versus the Florida Panthers. Philk, did the Rangers save their tank by giving up that big goal?
I mean, technically speaking, yes. But what is this? Oh, come on. You can't be serious with this.
Yeah.
I think anybody with a functioning brain would rather have Matthew Darche. And that's with me even being critical of the Palat and Shen moves. So, to get back to their tank, I guess, you want to call it that? Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, they did. They just have to lose tonight against Tampa, get no points, or they have to match whatever Calgary does. Calgary has to match whatever they do. And if they finish the same way, I haven't seen anybody who wants Darche fired, but if you want Darche fired, I question your sanity. I really question your sanity.
Yeah.
So Anthony here for everybody has pulled up Tankathon, and he did did you send him a lottery?
No, I didn't sim. It was just kind of like.
Oh, this is just the Tankathon when you pull it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tankathon has it as is. Gavin McKenna going to Vancouver, Ivar Stenberg going to Chicago, and then the Rangers taking Chase Reed, defenseman, who is probably regarded as the best offensive defenseman in this draft, a dynamic puck mover who skates very well at about 6'2", 6'3", and 190 pounds or so. So, I really do think that they need to pick in the top 3. I think the top 5 would be okay, but I would like the top 3. I would love 1 if you get it. No, I don't think the Rangers will trade their pick for a Brady Tkachuk. I don't think that's going to happen. Sorry. Hoke or Hosh? I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I do apologize. But the Rangers, they definitely helped they helped out their cause by giving up that goal to Florida. You could tell Quick wasn't happy about it. Quick was not happy about that at all. But I do think that if anything, it's good for the team. Listen, if you're going to tell me that they're going to make a move for Austin Matthews, okay. Let's talk. Let's see what needs to be done. But I don't think Brady Tkachuk is the game changer. I think if you were to tell me that it was Alexi Lafreniere for Brady Tkachuk straight up, I'd probably do that deal. Ottawa wouldn't. I can tell you right now. Maybe the Rangers would have to add to it. Depending on what the ad ask is, I would do that. But if you were to go to get Tkachuk and Matthews in one offseason, that'd be crazy. So then they go down to 5 with this sim lottery.
Yeah, I just hit sim lottery, and that's with Florida. Oh my goodness, Florida winning the lottery. That would be
Florida winning the lottery.
For everybody. I mean, that's just stupid. That's just dumb.
Yeah, this is with Columbus moving. This is with Columbus moving up 10 spots and Florida moving up 6. Yeah, that would be something. See, that would almost be like worst case for the Rangers. I mean, they still get 5, but that would suck.
Yeah, the Rangers need to stay within the top 3, I would say.
Yeah.
That's really where they want to be. Because then you can make the decision of Verhoff or Reed or Malhotra then at that point if they really want Malhotra. I would not be shocked if they took Malhotra even at 3 if they were there. It wouldn't shock me. I would probably want Reed, if anything, if they were at 3. We got taken off. Why? Yeah. Thank you. I don't know who did that. But
getting us back.
Mark is tinkering with things. Sorry.
No, actually, I didn't do that. I think we just X'd out of that, or somebody X'd out of the window. By the way, just to address David, I understand what you're saying right there, but why would you do that when you could get an elite forward for longer than you can for Austin Matthews? That's where now in an ideal world.
I guess the thought process there is, and you could say this for really anything, but there's no guarantee that anybody to take there are going to end up being as good as Austin Matthews. I mean, Austin Matthews has 2 60-goal seasons. I mean, he's been one of the best players in the league since he came into the league. So I think that's the benefit of it. But
here's the thing, and I talked about this, I think, last week. Vince Mercogliano had an article in The Athletic, and I read a lot of it out when I did that stream. And he talked about the 2 ways that the Rangers could go. And he talked about building through the draft and kind of just letting the kids play and going from there. And he said that that's what a lot of people will argue that they should do. What he thinks could happen, the second option would be that they would try to hot shot it, whether they go for a Robertson or a Matthews or a Brady Tkachuk or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to me. I think they're probably going to try to hotshot it. I do. And I don't think
Dolan's impatient. You might be right. You might be right there. He's impatient. So they could do that.
Well, it's not just Dolan being impatient. This all goes back to Igor Shesterkin. And I hate to say, and I know that I sound like a broken record bringing him and that contract up, but you have to now. You have to. You have no choice. Because you sign a goalie that's going to be 30 at the start of this contract. You signed him to be your franchise anchor, to be the guy. So now you're going to go waste how many years of his prime by rebuilding the right way and taking 3 to 5 years instead of maybe 2 to 4 or 1 to 3 or whatever the case may be? I can tell you right now, Dolan and management want this team to be a contender as soon as possible. And I don't like it, but I have a feeling that that's going to happen, and they're going to try to make a big swing. And another thing that tells me this is that they were involved in the Quinn Hughes trade talks. They were one of the teams that was seriously involved. If you're not looking to hotshot a rebuild, why are you in on Quinn Hughes when he has a year and change left on his contract?
The biggest no-brainer is that they're going to hotshot this because they only hotshot. The Rangers don't sit back and try to develop. That's why the lockout was such a blessing, because they had to sit back and actually to develop and come up. And then you started getting more homegrown talent that was coming through the Rangers. Then, of course, they're gonna hotshot this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they got Gavin McKenna and immediately traded him for a veteran right away, because the Rangers, just as Josh is saying right there, they always got to chase the shiny new toys. But you know something? Eventually, you got to build your own stars. And that's part of the problem in this organization. That's why I haven't done the 100-year video yet, because so many of their homegrown stars either came from elsewhere or were shipped out too quickly. That's why this organization is going to be stuck where it is until they finally say, all right, let's see if we can do this. And we're going to talk more about can the Rangers rebound next season, because there's 2 teams rebounded from last year. But do it the right way. They're never going to do it the right way. They just, and like Phil said, it starts with Shesterkin's contract last year. Once you're paying your goalie $11.5 million, you got to keep going. They got.
So I'm guessing Brian is being very facetious when he uses the word scrub there because he's likely talking about McDavid.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know.
Well,
thank you, Johnny. I remember seeing that they were in on Quinn Hughes. Like, why were they in on him? Why were they in on Quinn Hughes if they didn't think that they were going to hotshot this rebuild? And that's what scares me the most right now as a Ranger fan. You are going to commit the textbook definition of insanity. You're going to try the same thing over and over again and expect different results. How is this team going to improve any bit? You started seeing kids that were coming up in bottom six roles and playing right. Gabe Perreault cemented himself into a top six role, should have cemented himself into a top six role. How many years have we been complaining about, Mark, you and I and other Ranger fans? In the chat, please feel free to answer this question. Johnny, you too, because I know I've heard you talk about this in the past. How many years have we complained about not being able to draft and develop our own bottom six type talents and role players that we go out and we overpay them? Like we did with Barclay Goodrow. And then they finally get Hamilash, Laba, Sikora, all these guys coming in and they're producing. All of these guys are coming in and producing. And now they're gonna go out and they're gonna continue to give minutes to Connor Sheary. They're gonna go out and try to get guys that are, no offense to Sam Carrick, but you're gonna go get more Sam Carricks. Well, you're gonna usually get guys past their prime. Thank you.
Yes, usually they get guys way past their prime, or just in the back nine. Maybe he was starting that. And Johnny's dead on right about all.
Johnny's got a great point here. Quinn Hughes might be the exception to this rule because he's 26, and if you get Quinn in his prime, you're automatically a draw for more players to come to your team. So yeah, Johnny's got a good point there.
Okay, but here's the other thing. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. They've been giving Ty Cartier more of a chance than they gave Alexis Lafreniere and Capo Caco. He's getting more minutes and on top talent with these guys. This is what the Rangers do. The Rangers outsource development. They'd rather pluck guys off other franchises and then try to develop them instead of drafting and developing their own guys. So hopefully this new,
which is why I don't get the Kevin Maxwell move. I don't get it. A guy that did not have great success with the team the first time around, and you bring him back for what reason?
That's, it's the way, it's the Rangers way. Let's just keep recycling guys over and over again.
I don't know, Johnny.
People forget how good Caco was early, and then David Quinn had to try to be the smartest guy in the room.
I will still always go back to that Calgary game in Capo Caco's rookie year. And I remember him having a goal and an assist in that game, and he took that penalty late in the third, and they benched him for the rest of the game in overtime. And then it seemed like everything went downhill from there with Caco. And then I remember Larry David coming on the Michael Kay show. I think it was like 2 days later or a day later or something like that. And Larry David was even like, what is Quinn doing? What is Quinn doing benching him? But you know what? I do agree with you. Never scored 20 goals. He's cracked 40 points, 3 times now? This is his third. Yeah, 30. This is a guy that I think just could not translate to not having the time and space that he did overseas in the NHL. Because in the NHL, you have to be a quicker twitch player to move. Johnny, even you can talk about this because you've played NCAA D1. How much of there is a jump from like the juniors and the prep level to NCAA D1 in terms of speed of the game? Because you've got to be able to make
there's always going to be more of
that much more quickly and effectively, right?
And
I mean, Johnny's in the chat, so I'm just asking the question to him. I know he'll answer it, but listen. I'm not going to lie. That's Yeah, I mean, he's more effective in his role. Do I think he has the higher ceiling? No.
Yeah, let's see where he is next year.
Yes, but that's
Please.
a guy that maybe he's a late developer. Todd Bertuzzi was a late developer.
It could happen, but call me a skeptic.
Shitting his pants in his first 10 college games. Yeah, because the game moves that much quicker when you move up a level. It does.
All right.
And that's where I think Capo Caco got lost. But I also blame the Rangers for not surrounding him with the right elements to help him develop the way that he should have. There's a lot of blame to go around that. In that regard.
Obviously, what you want to do is draft a guy and have him play for your team for 21 years and even become the greatest goal scorer of all time, as Alexander Ovechkin became, who played the final game of his 21st season. He's the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer. Look at that, 929 goals. Him and Gretzky are the only two people with over 1,000 professional goals, and the only Russian-born captain to win the Stanley Cup. But as you know, as he said to Emily Kaplan, he's going to stay in DC for a couple weeks and then decide, and then go back to Russia and make a decision whether or not he's going to retire. He did have a comment where he did say, "I really hope this isn't my last game." So, Anthony, you are the Ovechkin worshiper out of all of us, which says something because you started that way. I joined the bandwagon far late, but is this the end of the Ovechkin era? And just, I guess, wax poetic after that. After your thoughts.
I mean, I certainly hope not. Ovechkin became my favorite player the minute he entered the league. Just everything about him, what the kids say these days, his aura, just the way he looked, his equipment, the yellow laces hanging down from his pants, the skates, the visor, just everything. I mean, and what was so cool about him is you saw the joy he had in scoring goals, especially early in his career. He'd score in his celebrations, and he was just captivating to watch that rookie year. Just the way he was scoring, he would beat you anyway. He'd beat a goalie clean from distance. He'd go through you. He'd go around you. He was like a freight train coming at you on the forecheck when he hit you. I know, borderline early in his career, it was almost like he left his feet when he hit, but he was a human wrecking ball. And him and Crosby are kind of credited with almost like saving hockey coming out of that lockout. He's been great for the game. He's been, I think, me personally, even if your favorite team was his rival, it's easy to root for him. I think that, when you talk about the greatest goal scorers of all time, you obviously mentioned Mike Bossy, Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Brett Hull, whatever. I mean, Alexander Ovechkin, you can make a case that he literally is the best. Even if you want to try to ignore that he literally holds the record, his contacts and stuff. But I truly think he's the best goal scorer that I've ever seen. I think he's the best goal scorer this game's ever seen. And if he does decide to hang him up, then, he deserves that to spend his years and, if he wants to go back to Russia. But, what do you have? 30 goals this year, 31 goals. I don't think this is a case that we saw a player this year. We looked at him and said, okay, he's finished. I watched Ovechkin this year and still saw a guy that has something to bring. And, if he decides that he wants to come back, I think that, he can come back next year and score 20 to 30 goals again. Because I just think watching him play, I don't think he's finished. So maybe that propels him into coming back, that he realizes, okay, I'm not, I don't feel done yet. I feel like I can still contribute. But on the flip side, he's accomplished everything accomplished. He's won a Stanley Cup. He has the all-time goal record. You name it, he's done it. Rocket Richards. He's done it all. So if he does decide to hang him up, what a career it's been. And I don't know if we'll ever see a player like him again. But those are some of my thoughts. I can keep going, but fortunately for you guys, to hear me talk of a rave about Ovechkin, I gotta go get Ella off the bus. But I hope this isn't the end, and I hope we see more of them.
Yeah, Phil. I mean, what are you thinking about this amount? It almost sort of like there was a riding off into the sunset feel about this week, but there's something different between this week and Gretzky's goodbye. I think there might be a little bit more left in the tank. But what do you think?
I don't think Anthony is wrong that he still has something left in the tank. Ovechkin might be a one-trick pony, but that one trick is one of the greatest tricks the game has ever seen. I mean, it's like Mariano Rivera. Like, that cutter was coming, but you still couldn't hit it. And if you got a hit off of it, you were pretty damn lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way that it's seen, it looked like it feels like he wanted to do it his way. He didn't want the retirement tour. He didn't want this and that. He didn't want to be a distraction. And for all the things that Alex Ovechkin is, whether you can say he was, dirty for coming off of his feet early on a lot in those early years on those hits, whether he's a little bit of a goof, whether he's just a jubilant child, whatever, I don't care what you want to call him. But the one thing that everybody has ever spoken about him is that he is a great, great teammate. I mean, TJ Oshie during that broadcast was literally talking about how Ovechkin would be the one to bring in the new guys and bring them to the retreats and have them stay with him and stuff like that. Ovechkin wore that C for a reason. He wore that C for a reason. So I really do believe that Ovechkin probably didn't want to have the distraction in the public eye. The Capitals were in the middle of a playoff race. He didn't want to be that guy. But I do think that he's likely done. I do. But when I look back on it, I posted this on Twitter the other day that I look back on that rookie class from 2006. And you go and you pull up the Calder voting from 06, and you have Ovechkin, you have Crosby, you have Dion Phaneuf, Henrik Lundqvist, Brad Boyes, Marek Svatos, Andre Mazaros, Ryan Miller, Jussi Jokinen, Peter Pruka, Ranger fans remember that one, Jeff
goals.
Carter, Chris Higgins, Francois Beauchemin, Brent Seabrook, Chris Kunitz, Antero Niittymaki, and Ryan Suter all received Calder votes. Everyone from that list is pretty much gone except Ovechkin and Crosby at this point. I mean, Suter played his last season last year. Carter, I think, was 2 years ago. A lot of these guys have been gone for anywhere from 8 to 10 years, though, otherwise. Phaneuf, Marek Svatos, Andre Mazaros, Chris Higgins, Francois Beauchemin, Antero Niittymaki has been gone, I think, for even longer than that.
A lot longer.
Peter Pruka has been gone for close to 15 years now. I mean, it's crazy to think how I was 20 years old when that rookie class came in, and that was one of the most fun times I have ever watched. That's one of the most fun seasons I've ever had watching hockey. One of the most fun seasons. Yes, flash in the pan. But the Turner Stevenson knee on knee in Philly right after the Olympic break really kind of screwed his career up. He was never the same player after that. So, but I look back at this class and I feel so old, like seeing all those names and how they were like the big household names of the future, like Marek Svatos. Who thought Marek Svatos would call off or would cool off and just die out the way that he did, like just a few years later? I remember this. I remember when people were legitimately trying to say on Hockey's Future Rangers boards, saying that Pruka was better than Sidney Crosby, it was insane. It was insane.
Yeah.
There were some people who were doing it as a joke, and then some people doing it for real. So, it was bad. No, I don't think Pruka is actually dead. I just think Sean was talking about his career, but like they were the new kids in town. And yeah, and I had been watching since 1991. And I was like, wow, this is the new class, and that Rangers team was so much fun and every night. But you know what? Getting to watch them play the Washington Capitals was always fun because one, you thought they could win, but Alexander Ovechkin made every game must watch. Even on that team where he outscored Dinas Ubris by 49 points. Like that was nuts. Like him, I think in the first 5 years of his career, he might be the most exciting player I've ever seen at that time because he could just score in so many different ways. Like one, and then not only that, but one of his very first shifts in the NHL, what did he do? He literally hit Radoslav Suchy so hard that a stanchion fell out of the glass. If that wasn't going to tell you what type of player that he was, like, I don't know what could describe him any better than that. Because not only is he number one in goals, he's third all time in hits. Yes, thank you, Brian. That it was something you had to be there for. The old school era and the new school era coming together, and just the game changing and the two-line pass being gone, and the shootout being an exciting thing. Like, yeah, one crazy rush just entered the league, and then you have Evgeny Malkin the next year.
And by the way, we'll get more into his rivalry with Sidney Crosby later. But there's one guy that I think about when I think about Alexander Ovechkin. Now that we're getting close to the end, and that's Mark McGuire. And it's because when you watch Mark McGuire in the late 90s, and even in the 90s, or even when he was even at his peak, at any moment he was going to hit a ball so majestic that you were just going to be like, did he really do that? Did he really just one-hand a ball 440 feet over the fence? Yes, we know one reason why. But Alexander Ovechkin did that a lot. There were so many different times where I was at the game where he went inside, outside on Michael Roosevelt and one-handed a puck over Henrik Lundqvist's left shoulder. And he did it in the closing seconds of the second period. And you're left there going, he just did what? In a lot of ways is what Alexei Kovalev used to do, but Alexander Ovechkin did it on so many levels at top speed. There was the game against Montreal that, to me, that's his greatest goal. I understand everybody wants to say the Phoenix one. This is his greatest goal. The one that Hamrlik's coming up. He bumps the puck away from Hamrlik, gathers it in. First,
the Montreal one.
Spin around. Yeah. Goes up ice, gets pulled down. As he's down, he fires the puck past Carey Price, who rumor has it was pretty good. And you're like, from his butt, he was able to score goals like that. That's how good Alexander Ovechkin was. And then then you think about him this way. Now, you're talking about the new school, and he really is a new school, old school fusion. And you're like, he celebrates every single goal like it's his last one. Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? Because who knows? It could be the last one you score in the league. But on the other hand, you watch the game against Pittsburgh, game 7 of 2009. You're like, is he ever going to get it? They're down 5-0. He gets a loose puck, just stuffs it into an open net, raises his stick, and goes to the bench. No enthusiasm. Or just like, it's a matter of, it is what it is. And you really saw the old man that got more respect for the game as he got older. And there's a different look to Alexander Ovechkin after 2018 when he won the Stanley Cup on my 40th birthday. Thank you very much. But it was something that you saw a champion. You saw a guy that knew what it was to pay the price to win. And it took Barry Trotz to instill that in him. And he never, I think they won one playoff series after that. No, 2. They won 2. It's just, looking back at it now, if that is his last game, he leaves a hell of a legacy. And it's tough to put him top 10 all time of the greatest players, but I'm very tempted to do so. And And as Brian's saying right here, Ovi went from being one of the most creative, dynamic goal scorers to being one of the most boring. Dude has zero regard for his body for his first 5 years of his career. Yeah, but you know what? One thing I said about him, Phil, was as soon as he produced some of the greatest memes ever about Ovechkin standing there like a statue on a power play. You're like, all right, is he going to move it all? Is he going to move it all? Next thing you know, the puck goes over to him. He one times it into the net. I always said the older he gets, he's just going to become Brett Hull. And sure enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. He did become Brett Hull with Datsuk and Zetterberg in those early 2000s years before the lockout. I mean, I would say Brian's right, though, that like he had no regard for his body. I don't think he would have been able to maintain that type of frenetic play over 21 seasons. I think he would have retired earlier. And I think you're looking at a guy that maybe scores 650 to 700 goals and has 1,200 points. And you're looking at him a little differently. But I do think that he's probably in the top 10 of all time. It depends on what you think. Because like you're obviously going to go, you're my 4. I cannot change this 4. I think it's Gretzky or Howe and Lemieux as a 4. Go. And there that's the Mount Rushmore.
I cement 5 as Messier and 6 as Crosby.
I don't know if I can put Messier at 5.
Well, because here's by the way, to answer James's question, this is the tricky part, Phil. I'm sorry, we'll get to yours in 1 second. The tricky part is then for me, I have to fill 7 through 10 with Yzerman, Maurice Richard. I
don't think Richard's in the 10.
I'm just spitting
Yager,
out.
you can make Yager,
Joe Sakic.
I don't know if Sakic goes into 10. But here's the thing. So you're going to look at 4 through or 5 through 10 at some combination of Crosby, Bork, Lidstrom, Hasek, Brodeur, or Brodeur and Waugh. I mean, and then you have guys on the outside of that like Messier. I mean, really, that's 7 names right there that I could argue for those final spots. Yeah, and I
say Ovechkin.
I would probably put Lidstrom right outside the top 10, to be honest with you, just because I don't think he's the second best defenseman of all time. I don't think Richard's the best player. I don't. I think he's somewhere in the top 20, but I don't think that he's in the top 10. I don't.
Well, it's a great debate. Sorry, to borrow from New Star Wars, a good question for another time. So let's, I'm going to pull Anthony out for right now. He's going to be coming back soon, but let's get to our NHL Bar Talk and get into some more topics going around the league right now.
Let's kick it into high pace. Grab your mates, it's time to unlock NHL Bar Talk.
Layup, get the damn hoop.
We go shot here.
The easiest I've ever to answer.
I'm actually going to go crazy. I'm going to buy everybody around.
We're all in this game, let the good times shake.
And welcome back to Big Apple Hockey's Bar Talk, everybody, where we're gauging our confidence on these NHL topics based on our choice of drink. So confident you buying around, so I'll have beer. Oh, dear God, I need a shot. Play along down in the comments below. And, sorry, what was that one? I missed it. Yeah, hoop time. Actually, did you see the graphic I put up for the hoop? That was a good one this week. Also, just a reminder, don't forget Wing Wednesdays down at Boss Croakers in Wausau. Coming down for 40-cent wings, $2 tacos, $4 Miller Lights, and Yinglings. But let's get into this and let's focus on the last season, Phil. Do you know the 2 worst teams in the Eastern Conference were last season?
Sabres, and I want to say the Flyers were the other one.
Actually, the Sabres passed the Bruins. So the Flyers and the Bruins were tied for 66 points as the worst. In the meantime, you have the New York Rangers with 75 points and the Maple Leafs with 78 points are the second worst. The Rangers and Maple Leafs can rebound in 26-27 and make the playoffs.
Ken is, I mean, like, can they technically? Yes. Will they? It's another story. I think I'm going to go shot here. And here's why. The Boston Bruins have a top-level goaltender in Jeremy Swayman. You can say whatever the hell you want about him and his contract or whatever the case may be, but he's still an upper tier, probably top 10 level goaltender. You just brought up Fraser Minton this year, who looks like he could be the real deal. Like he looks like he's a top 6 two-way forward somewhere, whether he's center or wing. I think he'll probably be a center. James Hagen's just made his debut last night for the Bruins in the win over the Devils. You're going to see what you have from James Hagen's going in the playoffs. I think the Bruins are in a good position right now where they have an ace in Pasternak. The Flyers have brought up Porter Martone, who has 10 points in 9 games. They have a good young core of players. Zegras is still in his peak years, and he looks like he's finding another level. Matvei Michkov is only going to get better going forward. Cam York and Jamie Drysdale, I expect more out of them in the future. Owen Tippett, I think, can still hit another gear and become a 30-plus goal, 60-plus point player. But the thing, this is kind of it for me. JT Miller having to rebound is a big if. Like, I don't know what you're going to get out of JT Miller. Are you getting a 70-plus point player? Or are you getting a point-per-game player? You need to nail that Trocheck trade. The Rangers are going to need a lot to break right, and the kids are going to have to carry over. I just don't know, because I don't think Buffalo's going anywhere. I think they're too talented. I think they finally have figured it out, and I think they're going to add in the offseason. I think the Islanders are going to get better. I think the Flyers are going to get better. I don't think Boston's going anywhere. Tampa Bay's not going anywhere. As long as that core is still productive, Tampa Bay is not going anywhere. Montreal is here to stay. They're not going anywhere. If they figure out if Dobej is the guy going forward and he's good to great, Montreal is going to be a true contender. Will Detroit make a move to get better? I just think the East is too crowded right now. It depends on what moves the Rangers make, and it depends on the kids. So I'm going to say shot. If the Leafs hire Sonny Meta, I like their chances. Yeah, I do agree. I think Sonny Meta would be a great pickup for any team that gets him. I think anybody that's coming out of that Florida system under Bill Zito is someone you want to get. It's like Darsh. When the Islanders picked up Matthew Darsh from Tampa Bay, it was a winning organization. It was a voice from a winning organization that knew how to win, that did things the right way. Well, Sonny Meta would be that guy. But I just don't think the Leafs have what it takes right now. I think they lack depth now. I know it's crazy saying that because they wanted to bring in depth to replace Mitch Marner, but they don't have enough. Do they trade Austin Matthews? That's a
big question too.
That's a big question. That's something that's got to be addressed. I'm going to say shot right now though, because I don't see it. I really don't.
There was a character Samuel Jackson played in the movie Unbreakable, and later in the movie named after his character, where they called him Mr. Glass. Mr. Glass is named Anthony Stolarz. So that's not going to happen in Toronto. Let's already make this is actually a layup shot if I could actually put one in there. And we were looking around for the hoop, everybody, because that's what I was trying to go find. I know it's here. I have it. So there's the layup, a little self layup, a little self alley, if you will. But the other thing is, now let's look at the Rangers. I already think the Islanders next year. Oh, here you go. There's a layup.
I tried.
Phil, there you go. From my wonderful assistant that was able to get that for me. But
better have.
So yes, much better half. So let's start with that one. But now let's go to the other side of the coin. Let's look at the New York Rangers. Look, they got things in place that if they break the right way, they can make the playoffs potentially. And I believe Mike Sullivan did a good job as a coach this year. I believe in a lot of things about this team, but yes, I know I got myself a great one. Thank you. But is that hunger still going to be there with Zibanejad? And I think he kind of found that again. And I really hope that he does. Is JT Miller going to be as terrible as he was in his first year as captain? And make no mistake, he was god awful this year. And maybe he could be better than garbage. Yeah, and I agree with you, James. I think he did whatever he could. You got to figure another
Jules Winifred. Oh yeah.
You got to figure that the Rangers are going to be better, but the thing is, are they better than Columbus right now? Are they better than the Philadelphia Flyers?
Columbus is a team that you're going to have to look at, though. I'm going to just jump in real quick about Columbus. If Bowness is back, regardless of whether or not Bowness is back, I think there's
more on him in a minute. By the way,
in Columbus, because Kent Johnson's been playing on their fourth line. That was a guy last year that had 24 goals and 57 points or something like that in 60-something games and was a first-round pick. You have a guy like that stapled to your fourth line, he's probably gone. Some other guys are probably gone right now. I can't tell you. Columbus is going to be a team that's in flux because for them to respond the way they did down the stretch, I think they're going to have to make changes, regardless of who's coaching.
And that's a good point, Phil. And let's get more into that right now because I already said shot and I already said it was a layup shot because to get both these teams in, fat chance. Now that Buffalo's figured it out, that's another team ahead of the Leafs. So there's another one. But actually, Phil, let's skip the Islander question right now. Let's wait to see if we can get Anthony on before the end of that because I like this question. Let's go with Rick Bowness, as you were talking about him, and this epic rant. Everybody, we're going to play the rant in its entirety, so stay with us.
Rick, you've been a part of a lot of games and a lot of seasons. Have you ever been part of something that's as frustrating as this has been down the stretch?
No. And all you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, I'm changing this culture. These guys, they don't care. Losing is not important enough to them. It doesn't bother them. How can you go out and play like that? Should have done this about a month ago. But this is why we are where we are. This is why we're at the playoffs. That kind of effort. Losing, you have to hate losing. I don't care if it's a meaningless game. I don't care. Show up and compete. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. What else you want to know?
You reached them for so long after you got here. How did it stop? Where did it stop?
Because it got tough. Because it got hard. Like we talked about after the Olympic break. It's going to get harder. So everything's good as long as it's going their way. And now it gets tough, we don't want to battle back. And that's what's happened over the last a couple of weeks. That's all that's happened. We're going to change that. If I'm back, I don't know if I'm back. Don and I will talk. We'll get to that. But man, oh man, some of those guys are so lucky the season's over and there's no practice tomorrow. Anyways, and there's no more games. What else you want to know?
I think even in the long history of this franchise, I don't think they've ever lost 6 games in a row to end a season at home.
No.
Is that worse?
It's terrible. Inexcusable. If they're not embarrassed by, not only tonight, by that, they're on the wrong team. They are. They got to be embarrassed with that.
Yeah. Mark, you muted.
I cut it short about 10 seconds right there, guys, because I just wanted to try to get us back and running again. That is just an epic rant out of Rick Bowness. And this ain't the first time he delivered a rant like that. More on that in a second. But Phil, Rick Bowness is the right coach to change the culture in Columbus.
I'm going to go around. I think that he's going to have to make some changes, but I do think that he's the right guy. I mean, he may not get them a Stanley Cup, but he can get them to that next level that he needs to get them to. The only problem is that they're lacking some pieces. Fantilli looks like Fantilli's got to be better. Fantilli has got to be better than what he's been this year. He had a breakout year last year where he had 30 plus goals and 50 plus points. But I mean, yeah, Rick, I mean, yeah, your criticisms of Detroit were pretty harsh too. So I do agree with that. But Rick Bowness is right about Columbus, and you were right about Detroit. And the same with the Rangers. I've been very critical of the Rangers in that regard. Mm-hmm. This team didn't hate losing. And that's what it came down to in this last year and change. But Bowness is the right guy. Whether or not new management is going to give him the green light to start going to the general management and saying, hey, we need to get rid of X and X to start, really changing things around. But you cannot, and I mean, you cannot go forward with this group. Like, it's got to change. It really has to change here. So, I mean, if you're talking about Olivier, he hasn't been dealt. I don't know if you're talking about Matthew Olivier. He hasn't. I don't think he's been dealt.
No.
I don't recall him being dealt. He's still, unless he's been hurt. Transactions. He hasn't been dealt.
Well, Phil, as we talked about in our group chat, and I'm going around on this one too. First, let me say this. And everybody who goes to that Shoresy line, they don't hate the lose. And you know something? It's so true for a TV show, but it is so true for professionals on this. Columbus has been called the most irrelevant organization in all pro sports by Bill Simmons, and they got a little bit of flack for that. We never really covered that. I've been trying to figure out how to fit that in because they're never bad enough to be bad, and they're never good enough to be good. They're always like stuck in the middle and irrelevant. Guys like Rick Bowness and John Tortorella changed the perception of that team. And Torts had a great run as the coach for Columbus. And look, you need a guy that cares the way Bowness does right there. And that would actually bag skate these guys with one more game left to play and get the most you can out of them. I do believe Zach Werenski should be the Norris Trophy winner this year. He should have been last year, but that's a different story. This year is more of a definite. Bowness has gotten the most out of his guys. Bowness is a rare coach because he's able to motivate and do X's and O's, but he never really gets his teams the full potential of them. But then again, the last time he had a rant like this, Phil, if you remember, it was right after Vegas eliminated them. And then he goes on the rant about there was no pushback. There was no pushback. Things are going to change. What happened? They removed Blake Wheeler. Then they go on and have a great season under Bowness. Last year, they won the President's Trophy. Like, this is a team that there's enough raw ingredients that the cook can make something that's going to be delicious for everybody to consume.
I don't look at that roster and I don't see a great team. I don't.
Well, maybe not.
But I don't see a great team. Okay, so you looking at their lineup up and down. If Zach Werenski, a defenseman, is your best player, like by far, I don't think you have enough to work with. Fantilli dropped off. He's not going to hit 30 goals this year. He might hit 60 points, but he's played 82. So their season's done. I'm sorry. So he's not gonna hit 60 points. Charlie Coyle is one of your top centers. Sorry, you can't win with that. Boone Jenner. Sean Monahan has regressed big time. The Johnny Gaudreau effect is worn off with Sean Monahan. Got to move on from him. Cole Sillinger, he was a top pick. Not enough. Dmitry Voronkov, major regression from last year. Kirill Marchenko, slight regression from last year. Mason Marchment was a nice addition, 39 games, 32 points. But is that going to carry over to next year? So Ivan Provorov. Your defense is Werenski, Provorov, Damon Severson, who's okay, but he's not anything great. Denton Mateychuk looks like he could be a real legitimate puck mover in the future, but the jury's still out on him. Dante Fabro hasn't been all that great. He was good last year, hasn't been all that great this year. So, I mean, Connor Garland.
Think about where he was with Winnipeg, Phil. That team, we thought they were going to sell off Mark Scheifele and get all these pieces out, and then suddenly, Mark
Scheifele scores 100 points away from Rick Bowness.
Yeah, and by the way, just to mention, just now, if you guys heard a loud crash in the background, we have a sign that says, "In this house, you live, dream big, and love the New York Rangers." It just came crashing down. It was this one right here, just kind of fell out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's a good omen or bad omen for the New York Rangers tonight, guys. But the thing is, Phil, Bowness did this before and it worked. Maybe it carries over. I'll tell you right now, I'd bring it back anyway. But after that rant, you could write your own contract as far as I'm concerned. You need somebody that cares this much and somebody that can inspire guys. And that's what Bowness can do. Look, he probably has about 1, maybe 2 years tops, no matter how likable he is. There's a reason why this guy has been on almost every single organization in professional hockey, because he's a lifer and everybody likes him, but it's hard, Phil. So he's got a shelf life too. So by the way, the Red Wings missed the playoffs. This is the 9th consecutive year they've missed the playoffs, right?
2015. No, I think it might be the 10th, because it's 2015-16, I think, was the last year they made it.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right so I could say the Red Wings.
Because it was Pavel Datsyuk's last year that I think that there was the last year that they made it.
And Dylan Larkin had a total of 5 playoff games in his career? But they were in first place. We talk about the Islanders. They were in first place January 25th, and they missed the playoffs. So we could blame coaching. We could blame Steve Yzerman. We also got to blame the players too. Phil.
Yeah, it's the 10th year. It's the 10th year. Sorry.
The Red Wings will make major changes.
I'm going to go round because this is very open-ended. This could mean players. This could mean general manager. This could mean coaching. I think that there's a lot of different things you can go, or a lot of different ways you can go with this question. I wonder about Yzerman. I wonder if it becomes a scenario where he does like a mutual step down and goes into like the presidency role and relinquishes the GM role to someone else. There were a lot of players that really kind of fell short. I penciled in Lucas Raymond as a guy that could score 90-plus points. Idiot. Dylan Larkin missed 8 games and didn't hit 70 points. Moritz Seider had his first 60-point season. Patrick Kane had 57 points in only 66 games, which is pretty good, all things considered. Andrew Kopp. He's a 40-point player. James Van Riemsdyk is a twilight of his career type guy. Emmett Finney, after a hot start, cooled off and ended up with 30 points. Not bad for a guy who I believe was undrafted. No, he was a 7th-round pick. Sorry, 7th-round pick out of for Detroit. JT Compher had a terrible year, playing 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes a game, scored 28 points. And he's making, $5 million and change? Simon Edvinsson, after a really good year last year, kind of took a little bit of a step back. Axel Sandin Pellikka, they didn't play him a lot of times. I don't understand why, but he had 21 points in 67 games. Marco Kasper was one of my picks for breakout player of the year. 19 points. I just looked so dumb here. I'm sorry, but I looked dumb. So A lot of their guys just did not step up. I think it's gotta. I think they've got to make a major change. What I wonder is if they contact Vancouver about the availability of Elias Pettersson, because they can revisit Vincent Trocheck talks. But if Vincent Trocheck talks, and this is what was being said, the rumored asking price for Vincent Trocheck was 2 young roster players. That was Chris Drury's supposed asking price. If that's the case, why not talk to Vancouver about Elias Pettersson? I know the contract is going to be a hard pill to swallow just because he's making 11.6, but like that's a guy that clearly needs to get the hell out of Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I think this works. It works both ways for them to move on from him. I mean, he's 27 going on 28. He's got another 6 years left on his deal. He's got a full no movement clause, though. That's the problem. So his contract, especially after this upcoming season, is pretty much buyout clad because he's got a $5 million signing bonus for the final 5 seasons of his career. So that's going to create a buyout that's going to create a problem. And here's a good question. What would that even look like?
Good question.
You would have to give up a first-round pick. You'd have to give up a combination of Danielson, Bear, Bransick, Nygaard, Sandin Pellikka, and someone else in Detroit.
Now, you think 2 of the 3 or 1 of the 3?
I would say 2 of those, depending on who they are. Because Sandin Pellikka would be a big get for them. But Detroit needs a center. They need a center badly. And I don't know how they do that. Because I'm looking at Detroit's roster, like who really fits in there? Like who really fits? Like does Comper go back the other way?
Comper could go back.
Cop?
I mean, we're gonna speculate at what Vancouver might need to do because that's gonna be later on in this bar talk. But
I mean, if you're sending back a Cop for a Comper, that package is going to have to be that much better.
I mean, Phil, look at what they got for JT Miller, a first-round draft pick, a center who, yes, he was young, but known concussion problems, a defenseman who's okay at the NHL level, and I think that was it. And there was still lots of term on his contract.
This is a good point, though, because he's got a no movement clause. He's going to have to waive for any deal. He's got a full no move.
I think he would waive to go to Detroit.
He controls where he goes.
Imagine being in that position. Please send me to Detroit. But
I mean,
nonetheless,
here, think about this though. You could get Elias Pettersson. You can have him come in and play with Lucas Raymond. That's a pretty tantalizing thought. Not only that, but he'd be a good top 6 complement to Dylan Larkin.
And look, there is no shortage of Swedes that are in St. Louis. Silent St. Louis, Detroit. We'll get to St. Louis in a second too, folks. And of course, you have the greatest Swede ever to play that's in the front office over there as well. So I am gonna say that I think they should try to work out some deals like that. And look, Steve Yzerman's going to have to take a step back or something. If they don't want to fire him, they want to make him the president. So he's still making big decisions. Go right ahead. It worked out for Joe Sakic. I think Steve Yzerman can get a team assembled. He just can't finish it off. And he's sort of like that 8th inning pitcher that you try in the 9th inning. And sometimes you get Mariano Rivera out of it. Sometimes you get Braden Looper. He's a Braden Looper. Sorry, everybody. That's the only way to look at it from there. And I just compared Steve Yzerman to Braden Looper. Wow. That's what? I'm actually sick to my stomach right now. But it's just that's that's how the cookie crumbles on this. There's a reason why Breezeball had to come in and finish the job for Tampa. And you start there. I'm not sure if you move on from Todd McClellan, but I do think you should move on from Patrick Kane. I know when everybody's going to go, how do you move on from Patrick Kane? Simple. Goodbye. You move on from him. And I'm so tired of hearing about prospects. You got all these prospects. If you never call them up, then you never have to worry about their future because you're never going to use them. Sooner or later, they gotta come to the NHL. I mean, Augustine and what's the other goaltender that they got down there?
Sebastian Casa.
Casa, that's it. And it's just that you like you get to a certain time, and then it's just like they're just minor leaguers. That's all they are. Bring them up eventually, and just like
I'm with David here. Braden Looper is the only eighth inning guy you could think of in the history of the major leagues, like Ramiro Mendoza, buddy.
No, but I mean that they tried a closer and wasn't any good. I mean, Ramiro Mendoza was in that closer by committee in Boston. That was terrible. And then they went, yeah, we're going to go with Keith Falk. If I remember that correctly, in 2003.
Well, Keith Falk.
Yeah, because Keith Falk, and then it was Papelbon for the second one. There's lots of guys. I mean, Armando, but there's a lot of guys that are serviceable, but weren't that great. Armando Benitez was good, but he fumbled it. He fumbled the ball in big moments and did that a lot. There's other guys. Just Braden Looper is the one that always comes to mind. He was a great eighth inning guy with the Marlins. Couldn't do.
Yeah, I was going to say Benitez would be one that would also fit that for me. But
yeah, well,
neither here nor there.
But nonetheless, I think major changes are coming to Detroit. The question is what? I still don't think they move on from Dylan Larkin.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. This is what I was never defending JT Miller. I was always pointing out that Pettersson is a problem in Vancouver. They need to get rid of him.
But again, there's a reason why he went from 100-point scorer to garbage. And I still think part of that had to do with JT Miller.
Okay, so then why is he not back to the player that he was before then?
Cool. Why is it that JT Miller can't get to? Well, you know what?
We're not talking
I'm going to
about
put these names down to pick them.
We're talking about Elias Pettersson. We're not talking about JT Miller. We're talking about Elias Pettersson.
Good. We're gonna put these names out and pick them later anyway, Phil.
Last year, and Elias Pettersson still sucks in Vancouver. Where is the excuse now? What is the excuse?
All right. Well, I'll hint to that one for what we're going to say later. And that's, do you see that roster? That roster is awful.
He had Quinn Hughes still scoring a point per game there. You're telling me that he couldn't produce points playing on the same power play as Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, but I don't know. We've seen potential out of this guy. Why could you unlock it again?
Why could Quinn Hughes put up points so easily from the back end, but Pettersson couldn't do it as a forward?
Well, one guy's just much better in general. That's Quinn Hughes.
But that's the point. That's the point. Pettersson has not been that guy since the minute that contract was signed. I did the numbers. If the numbers don't scare you enough, then I don't know what you're looking at anymore.
No, I get you on that, Phil, because after all, Connor Garland, I think, has put up more points than him since that contract was signed. That's scary. But Anthony, great to have you back again, because let's go over to this one, because the New York Islanders finished the 25-26 season with a 2-1 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. You look at those numbers compiled by Anders Lee in his career, every one of those games are with the New York Islanders. And he took on the role as captain when John Tavares left in 2018. The Islanders should bring back Anders Lee.
This is a tough one because you have to think with your brain and then think with your heart. And, Anders Lee is a guy that I met with many times, actually. I did his Can Jam Foundation, which me and my partner that day won, and we got the trophy and got to hang out, which I gave to the kids that lost anyway because they were battling stuff in their family. Thought it was the right thing to do. But anyway, I got to spend some time with him, chatting with him. He gave me a signed jersey. And then later the next season after the game, I had a pass to meet him with my wife and kids. And he's just such a great person. Not even talking hockey, he's such a good person, does so many stuff in the community. And then hockey wise, he's a great leader. He's a great player. All that said, the Islanders already have a couple of guys that are, starting to get a little bit older. Paul Mary, they just bought in Braden Shen. Palat, although I think he'll get bought out this summer. It's neither here or there right now. But as the point is, I think it's time that they move on from Lee. He took over at a dark time when Tavares left. Everybody counted him out. Took the C, wore it proudly, and was a phenomenal leader for them. And pulled all the guys in the fight on the ice. So yeah, it's me personally. Unless he's okay with like a very team friendly deal and he gets a new role on a revamped fourth line with maybe him and then two other players, maybe, but I don't know if he would go for that. So I'm going to have to say no. They should not bring him back. But again, it's with a heavy heart that I say that.
Mm-hmm. Phil, do you think the Islanders should bring him back?
I have concerns about his age and the way that he's going to kind of regress at this point in his career. Because, he's 35 going on 36, and this is not a great skater. He's actually made some strides to his skating and improved it quite a bit over the last, I would say, couple of years to kind of give him a little bit of a renaissance here last year. And then this year just wasn't as good. You could go either way with this, so I got to go beer. You could say that you want the leadership there, and he means a lot to the organization. He's actually 3 goals away from becoming third all-time in Islanders goals. Think about that. 308 goals. Dennis Potvin has 310, but 3 goals would make him third all-time in goals for the Islanders behind Bossy and Trottier. So I really do think that there is some benefit to having him, but it's got to be at the right price. Do I think Anders Lee wants to leave? No. I don't think he wants to leave. I think he wants to stay there. I think he loves the island. I think he loves having his family there and everything like that. And Long Island, if you can afford it, is a great place to live. Mm-hmm. And as somebody who's going through kind of a crossroads of my life right now, I can absolutely agree that it is a great place to live if you can afford to do so. But do they need to move on and maybe shake things up? They do, in a way. I'm not sure if Anders Lee leaving is a part of that. If he's willing to Gillies had 304, by the way, Mikey read. He had 304. He passed him this year. There are teams that could use a guy like Anders Lee, as Dwayne's saying. And not just Columbus. There are a bunch of teams that could use a guy like him. But I have trepidations about his skating, how well his body is going to age. He plays a tough game in front of the net, takes a lot of abuse for a guy his size, but he can score you a lot of garbage goals. I still think he's capable of 20 to 25 garbage goals with the right guys around him. He's got an okay shot too. Like, this is a good complimentary player still. What does the contract look like? That's my question. What does that contract look like? Is it for $4.5 million to stay on the island? If so, why not bring him back at that point? That's my question. If he's willing to take a considerable pay cut to stay, why not bring him back? If he's still looking for $6 to $7 million for what he is, then you're probably going to have to say goodbye. So I would go beer here.
And you know what? I'm going to throw the beer up there for you. And then I understand what Anthony's saying, because also you got to move forward eventually as an organization. But I'm going to go beer on this one as well. I think it's going to be a conversation. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with him. If he's okay with like a fourth line role and maybe he's still captain or maybe he gives it up and is just a figurehead, I mean, that's something. And then obviously if there's ever an injury, he just goes right up to number one on the power play. But this is a guy that's really just, this organization could have taken a left turn when Tavares left and he put up the post from the Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not effing leaving. And he led them all the way to one conference finals, was going to be there for the second one, but tore his ACL, nearly came back if they were going to play in the Stanley Cup finals that year. But he's been a hell of a leader and a hell of a player for them for so long. It depends. I got to agree with Phil. It depends on what they're going to pay him. But
maybe he goes back to Minnesota. Maybe
he goes back to Minnesota. But
he's from there. He's from Edina.
Yes, he is.
Anthony, would you agree though? If it is the end of the road for him, he's one of those players that they have a press conference for to be like that they're not leaving. It's not just going to be he's not coming back. We get a waiver of an update on our notifications about it. That'd be something where they say goodbye to him, right?
For elite, no. For if he signs elsewhere, what do you mean?
No, like that he's leaving. You ever see that where they'll just be like, yeah, he's not going to resign?
No, I don't think there'll be anything like that. I just think he'll walk off into free agency, and then when he comes back, he'll get one hell of a welcome. But
yeah, he's going to get just a tremendous ovation when he comes back. If he does, there's going to be a pretty long video tribute for him, and you know what? He deserves it.
Well,
absolutely.
One team that the Islanders made a trade with at the trade deadline was the St. Louis Blues. And you took a look at what they did. They were eliminated from playoff contention this week, but they also had a thrilling game against Pittsburgh last night. If you guys did look at the highlights.
Yeah, I watched that. That was crazy. That game was nuts.
They were 16-5-3 after the break. And the same thing last year. They got hot after the Four Nations. You went, all right, here they come. But, Anthony, I'm going to start with you on this one. The post-Olympic break St. Louis Blues are the real St. Louis Blues.
No. I think teams just kind of get on a stretch for a while. Like the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets looked like the best team in the NHL, and then and then the Olympic break came, and that thwarted that. And then look what happened, how they ended the year. Same thing with the Flyers. The Flyers, don't get me wrong, the Flyers are building something good. Obviously Porter Morton has already looks phenomenal, and they got a good future. That said, though, I could easily picture them missing the playoffs next year. Like, I don't think they're necessarily this very good team. And circle back, this is my point with the Blues. Yeah, the Blues had a really great post-Olympics. I mean, they kind of got back into the playoff conversation. So good for them. But no, I still think this team is a team that's going to be retooling soon. You heard talks about, were they going to move Binnington at the deadline? That didn't happen. Were they going to move Kyrou, which I think this summer, Kyrou is probably at this point definitely going to leave. You even heard Robert Thomas's name. So I think the Blues are a team in flux. I think they're going to be making changes. So I mean, no, I don't think this. I think it was just kind of a little bit of a hot streak and a little bit of a charade.
Yeah, and so Phil, what do you think? Is it this? Do you agree with that? That it's just a charade?
Yeah, I'm going shot on this. It reminds me of Buffalo and how they start playing so much better after they're eliminated from playoff contention. They were so far back at one point where it's just like, all right, they're playing for nothing to lose. And that's why I'm not totally sold on the Rangers either, because what these kids are doing right now, you talk about culture wins, and culture wins for me are meaningless, because as soon as the new calendar flips over and game one starts of that regular season, coaches are not letting players just go out there and make mistakes and play free. But you cannot continue to say that, oh, well, these culture wins are important. No, because Mike Sullivan's going to go out there and he's going to ride his veterans next year. That's probably what's going to happen. So same thing in St. Louis. I mean, the only thing that I will say that worked against them was that Robert Thomas missed 19 games. Robert Thomas missed 19 games, and that's huge because that's a damn good two-way player that scores about a point per game. The last 3 seasons, he has been over a point per game. So this is a guy that really can come in and be a number one center. Is he the top-end number one center? No. But he's like a better version of Derek Stepan in Derek Stepan's best days. He's a guy that gets you 25, maybe 30 goals if you're lucky. He can get you 80-plus points. And he plays real good two-way hockey. And he's a facilitator. He's a play driver. So without a guy like that, you're going to lose games. And that's what kind of happened with this team. But I do think Anthony's right. I think there's going to be decisions to be made on Jordan Kyrou. I think there's going to be decisions to be made on Colton Parayko. They tried to trade him at the deadline. He blocked the trade to Buffalo, scary enough. Which I bet he regrets that one right now. Unless he's got it for family reasons, I bet he regrets that one. But you're looking at a team that's really, like Anthony said, in flux. They're going to be going in one of two different directions, and I don't think they're going to be adding. I think they're going to be subtracting more guys. So what do they do with Kyrou? Can they trade Kyrou by the draft and get another first-round pick? Because they've got the Islanders' first-round pick for this year, right? Or is it next year?
Not Islanders, they're Colorado's.
Colorado. Sorry. It's Colorado's first-round pick from the Brock Nelson trade. Yeah. So it's, I think they're going in a different direction. I think they're going to try to get another first-round pick and try to really kind of accelerate this rebuild by bringing in a youth infusion. I think Jake Neighbors has earned an increased spot. Jimmy Snuggerud looks like the real deal. Like, he's looked really, really good on their first line with Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway, I expect him to get back to where he was last season. I think this year was a blip in his radar. So I think they're going in a different direction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to make it a hat trick and just say I'm going to go shot on this one too. Last year at this time, I was so sold on them being the next best team. And then since the Cole Perfetti goal with 1.1 or 1.7 seconds remaining, they have not been the same. And they never really got going this year. They were always getting trounced. How much longer are you going to stick with Jordan Binnington? You know that old saying that it was Dave Checkett saying, how long do I have to pay for the 94 Cup? Well, this is how long do we have to pay for the 2019 Cup? Because Jordan Binnington's, he's just been bad.
Yeah, I think he gets moved too. I think maybe Edmonton should have pulled the trigger on him when they had the chance.
They should have pulled the trigger on a lot of people when they had the chance. Now they're going into the playoffs with Tristan Jarry or Connor Ingram. So pick your poison. And by that, really,
like either of those goalies.
Yeah. So let's go to the guys we were talking about earlier, and now the full team. The Vancouver Canucks, 58 points on the season. That's the worst in the NHL, and it ain't close. Even the immensely frustrated Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks have 70 points, and they're not even close to these guys. Phil, I'll start with you. Vancouver needs to go scorched earth.
You know where I'm going with this, right? Where's Maria?
She's here. Hold on. She's been waiting to do this. Hold on. We are getting the hoop. There it is.
Maria? Thank you, Maria. Thank you. I appreciate you, Maria. I really do. Like,
all right.
Really, Mark? We're tossing out Blake Griffin, Lob City, just layups right now.
I think we are in this case.
We're breaking backboards like we're Shaq now. Prime Shaq, 93 Shaq. Is that what we're doing?
Well, I had the NBA Jam backboard break in one of the last shorts.
Like, I would be better off reading Hockey for Dummies 101 than having been asked this question. Really. Because this is what you're doing to me right now. Like, yes, Vancouver needs to go scorched earth.
Mhm.
Are you looking for me to go on an epic tirade about you? Yeah. Give Maria a damn raise, Mark. Give Maria a damn raise. Because this is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but like, what are we even doing here? Really?
Well,
Vancouver needs to go scorched earth. Yeah, and I need to be able to date Scarlett Johansson or Liv Morgan. Yeah, I need that. I need that in my life. But you know what? That's not happening. Vancouver is going to go scorched earth, though. Because
but
maybe
does that include Patrick Alvin staying?
What's that?
Does that include Patrick Alvin staying?
I think Patrick Alvin stays. I don't think Patrick Alvin has done anything wrong. Like, he got a nice return for Quinn Hughes. He got a nice return for Quinn Hughes. He got what nobody thought he was probably going to get, with Quinn Hughes, one, being able to pick his destination, two, New Jersey being on the radar and the imminent threat of, hey, let me go play with my brothers, and three, a year and change left on his contract. So, you know what? Good for Patrick Alvin there. But yeah, Vancouver definitely needs to go scorched earth. This is not even a Anthony. I don't even know if you need to even answer.
Yeah, no, I don't. I honestly,
it's so obvious.
This is bad. That's bad.
Okay, so we'll get that one round for Anthony right there.
Yeah,
Anthony, we're talking about this before we went live. This is how bad it is in Vancouver. We know Elias Pettersson leads them with 51 points. Philip Baronek second, 49. Anthony, do you know who's 8, 9, and 10 in the scoring leaders for the Vancouver Canucks this year? 8 is Connor Garland. He hasn't been a Vancouver Canuck in almost 2 months. Keeper Sherwood is at 9. He hasn't been a Vancouver Canuck since the end of January. And Quinn Hughes is at 10. He hasn't been a Vancouver Canuck since December. This organization, yes, obviously, they need to go scorched earth and completely look. We got to talk about this because obviously I don't want to just keep on. We're going to do a playoff preview for other things. But this is just, they gotta, this is one of those organizations they got to liquidate. Adam Foote doesn't look like he knows what he's doing either. They need to get it together. That's what they need to do. And I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I question everything about this organization right now. So I think it's fair. And now they're embracing a rebuild, as Rob Talks Hockey brought up on his video. But this is an organization that they just, as Def Leppard said, tear it down. That's what you got to do. All right, guys, that was the end of our Big Apple Hockey Bar Talk. But let's go back to a discussion we had earlier. And Anthony, we were talking about Crosby and Ovechkin when Ovechkin was retiring, or potentially retiring. Is the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry the greatest player rivalry in the NHL's history?
I mean, it's a constitute. Like, you just talking like two players who, I don't know, like, for instance, are you considering like Gretzky and Lemieux like a player rivalry? Like, I
think there might be a degree to that, a little bit.
I mean, what's unique in this is that they came into the league at the same time, so that's why, like, I don't know. I mean, there are probably other players that you can name that had a rivalry, but may not necessarily come into the league at the same time. So it's different. I think because they came into the league at the same time, they were on teams within the same division. Well, at least at one point they were, maybe not right off the bat, but that added to it. So I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, I'll say yes, but this is kind of like a loaded question. It's hard for me to actually quantify definitively one way or the other.
Yeah, that's it, and I understand that what you're trying to say with that one. So, what do you think? Is this the greatest players' rivalry that there was?
Like Anthony said, I don't know how you quantify that really. I get it. The spotlight has been on them. Is Gretzky and Lemieux a rivalry? I mean, there are other questions to be asked about other players that could have been a rivalry. Was I don't know. You could go back to the original 6 days and pick a player from Montreal versus a player from Toronto, or Brad Park versus Bobby Orr. That was they were constantly in the Norris discussion for years together, and Orr beat Park every year. And they came up around the same time. So is it really a rivalry when one guy has most of the accomplishments? I mean, Crosby has the better probably trophy case in terms of, the fact Ovechkin's got all the Rocket Richard trophies. He's got 1 Stanley Cup and I think 2 MVPs.
I think he's got 3 MVPs.
What's up?
I think he's got 3 MVPs.
I think it's 2. I think 2018 and 2013, I think, are Ovechkin's MVPs. I think Crosby
3-time Hart Trophy winner. 3-time Hart Trophy winner. He won it.
He won it at 10. No, 09 then I think he might have won it.
Yeah, it was number 1 in the Hart, 09 and
it was 08, 09, and 13. Okay. So yes. And then Crosby, I think, has won 3 times as well. 2007, 2014. No, sorry, he has 2. He won in 2007 and 2014. So, but I mean, he's got 3 Pearsons. I mean, he's got more points. He's got the gold medals. He's got the 2 Conn Smythe trophies, which puts him only behind Patrick Waugh. He's tied with Gretzky or Lemieux for the second most Conn Smythes. Sure, World Juniors, it doesn't really matter nearly as much as the stuff at the pro level. I mean, I think anybody will tell you that. But right now, I mean, Crosby's got the better case, if you ask me. And I think if you put the 2 together on a list, I think 90% of people are going to rank Crosby higher than Ovechkin. So yes, it is a rivalry, but
it's still a rivalry. But it's one of those things where you have the conversation and then go, yeah, I'm still going Crosby. You look at them early in their careers; they were trying to build a rivalry between them. It's a little bit more manufactured. The great commercial of the NHL road trip where they order all the room service to Sidney Crosby, and that's a bit of a joke right there. Crosby, who was
the old center ice NHL commercials,
yeah. But then you think about that. You think about the game in 2009, Game 2 of the second round, where they had the dueling hat tricks, and that was something special. Then you have the Penguins go on; they win the Stanley Cup in 09. Then 2011 season, Winter Classic. Crosby gets blindsided on the hit, ends up being out for a while. Everybody thought it was a concussion. Ended up being, I believe,
what about his best year that year?
Yeah, it was, and it was going to be, but then Crosby's out for a little bit.
Over 130 points.
And then Ovechkin had the struggles in the playoffs for a little bit. That kind of hurt. But then flash forward to the Penguins become a 2-time Stanley Cup winner, one of those times beating a President's Trophy Washington Capitals. And the Capitals always said, you figured at some point they thought they had to go through the Rangers in order to win, and it wasn't. They had to go through Pittsburgh and win. They beat Pittsburgh, and it was sort of like when Boston beat the Yankees in 2004. I'm sorry to use this as an example because
they lack defense badly.
And
you got to remember, John Carlson was winning the World Juniors for the U.S. at that time. So,
yeah. So you look at what he had to do in order to win, and it went back and forth. And again, after that 2018 season, there was a different view on Ovechkin, and even the Crosby thing, it wasn't as fierce as it was before. But this was a great rivalry. I'm just having trouble trying to think of other ones right now, guys.
It might be the most important. I think it was probably the most important because you got to remember this was promoted as the rivalry by like ESPN and all the other places. And then anytime they ever covered hockey, they always talked about Crosby versus Ovechkin. So this was the rivalry that kind of fostered in the new era after in the lockout. It got eyes on the NHL. And you had two of the youngest players in the NHL at the time with Crosby and Ovechkin coming in and just lighting it up. So
yeah.
I don't agree with this. I mean, the problem is that Ovechkin was in a transitional point in time. You got to remember, they just dealt Yager for Anson Carter right before they drafted Alex Ovechkin. And then Mike Green also in that same draft class, funny enough. But, they rebuilt their team based on that 1 year practically. So for them to get who they got in that draft and for them to come along as quickly as they did in those next few seasons, I mean, Alex Semin had already been there. He was drafted, I think, in 2002, I think it was. You had pieces that were in place. So it was just the time period that it was just tough on Alex Ovechkin because they didn't have players. And then Semin had played that 1 year in 04, didn't play in 04-05 or 05-06, comes back, scores almost a point per game, and he's a big part of the team for the next, 4 or 5 years there? So.
Well, guys, let's do some Big Apple hockey.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's what I know he meant. He's talking about the early 2010s.
Yeah. Hunter, yeah, Dale Hunter almost ruined him. I mean,
yeah, but then 2013
for him to go
was the Oates Capitals, right?
So Oates took over, yeah, and that year. Hunter was 2011 and 2012, where Ovechkin had those 2 down years. And then Oates came along in 2013, and then Ovechkin was like, okay, I'm back. I don't have to play this type of hockey anymore. I'm back.
And then Barry Trotz made him into a complete player or closer to it. Let's do some picks.
I think I've got a gut feeling.
You want me to do 2 things?
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now shoot!
Phil, I'm sorry, you were saying?
No, it's all right. We need to move on from that. So
yeah, no, sorry about that. And yeah, I mean, we could have kept talking, but we were going to put Anthony to sleep if that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
But hi, everybody, Big Apple Hockey Pick'ems, where we're going to give out some choices. You make the selection. So, Anthony, let's start with you and wake you up right now. Playoff goalie with more to prove: Dan Vladar, Brendan Bussey, or Scott Wedgwood?
Muted.
I'm gonna go. I think you could make a case for either all three, but I'm gonna go with Wedgwood just because he's viewed, rightly or wrongly, he's viewed as the goalie that's just kind of like performing well because he's on like the best team in the league, and I think if he could prove that he could win in the playoffs, when maybe goal scoring dries up a little bit and it's more defensive and kind of battling for every inch on the ice, I think that would go a long way for some of his detractors. So for those reasons, I'm going to go Wedgwood.
Phil?
I'm going to go Bussey because of a small sample size. I know that he might have the least experience of the three, so it's out there. But you got to remember, he's on the leading team in the Eastern Conference. I think Colorado is so good to the point where Wedgwood could go through the first few rounds relatively untested, and it's really going to be the Stanley Cup Finals where they're going to be. Colorado's got just that good of a team in front of them. So I'm going to go Bussey because I think he's going to have to dispel the notion that Carolina goaltending has been the problem over the years. He's going to have to be the guy to step up.
Phil, I'm going to echo what you're saying, because if he doesn't step up, the alternative is Freddie, and nobody wants that. That's why I'll go there, because at least Wedgwood, your alternative is Mackenzie Blackwood. And Dan Vladar, I just think he's just going to be solid and be fine, even though Urson's had a pretty good run as well. I think it's got to be Bussy for me, because he hasn't finished the season strong. And Carolina needs it. And I still don't think they're making the Stanley Cup Finals anyway. Phil, going over to you, the more significant Canadian accomplishment. Oof. Nick Suzuki's 100 points or Cole Caulfield's 50 goals?
I think there's 5 Canadian 50 goal scorers. I think it's Richard, Boom Boom, Lafleur, Schutt, and Richer. I think were the ones to do it before Caulfield. So that's 6 total. And I know that Suzuki is one of 5 Canadians to score 100 points. And the others are Lafleur, Schutt, Mats Naslund, and I think Frank Mahovlich are the other one. I'm going to go Suzuki, just because of the fact that he's the center and he's probably going to win the Selke this year. So I'm going to go Suzuki.
Anthony, which one are you going to take out of this?
Again, this is tough. Phil and I were off the post when Suzuki got traded in that Pacioretty deal, and I think when he got drafted and just as he started developing, I don't think anyone would have ever said that this guy was going to be a 100 player. Kind of just came out of nowhere the last few years and the uptick in his scoring. That said, I don't know if you want to call it a hot take or not, and I don't want to take anything away from Suzuki, but you know, this year he had 29 goals, 72 of his points were assists. You know, last year at 89 points, 59 of them were assists. I just wonder if he's not playing with Cole Caulfield, who's suddenly one of the best goal scorers in the league, if he's scoring 100 points. And I know you can flip that and say if Suzuki's not passing the puck to Caulfield, so I get that. But for me, I'm going to say it's Caulfield scoring 50 goals. For a guy his size and stature to defy the odds and become the player that he turned into, to me, it's just outstanding. So I'm going to go Caulfield scoring 50.
These are both seriously 2 great accomplishments. One of them, Suzuki, was 1986. That was Mats Naslund. That was the last one that did that. And Stefan Richer in 87, 88, and then 2 years later to score 51. That was another huge accomplishment. I'm going to go with Cole Caulfield because he is just showing just how good he is right now. And I got to tell you, by the way, I love this. Somebody brought up about this, that Ovechkin missed 51 games in 21 years. In the meantime, flop James, 97 games the last 5 years. But I got to say this. Cole Caulfield scoring 50 goals is the biggest middle finger that you could give to Mike Sullivan, to Chris Drury, to JT Miller, and to Bill Guerin, because how do you not put this guy on the Olympic team? That's the funny part. We argued about this. Like, Mark, stop complaining. They won gold. Yeah, but it could have been easier if you had Cole Caulfield on that team. Maybe you would have won. I mean, he's one of those guys. I mean, him, Jason Robertson, there's another 100-point scorer that you didn't put on the team because you had a whiny New York Ranger captain on there. But I digress. I'm going Caulfield. By the way, he scored 49 in front of JT Miller. Well, not really in front of JT Miller. He was on the ice complaining to the official as Caulfield put the puck in the net. Anthony, got to go back to you on this one because let's talk about something more exciting. Maybe a guy with a shot, sort of like Cole Caulfield's. Maybe. More exciting future, Victor Eklund or Cole Yzerman?
Gotta say, another good one. mark so far. This is tough because they're totally two different players. You know, Victor Eklund, small in stature but high motor, engages, goes to the dirty areas, good shot, great passer, just an all-around really, really good player. Cole Yzerman, pure goal scorer, can beat goalies from distance. You know, just your very definition of a guy that if you give him time and space in the slot, you're probably getting scored on. You know, that, I mean, personality-wise, definitely Cole Yzerman has a big personality. You can already see it in Bridgeport. But for me, more exciting. I mean, if you're going on the safer bet to become a very, very, very good player, I'm going to go Eklund just because I feel like he has a more well-rounded game. But if you're talking, not that I don't want to use risk because I still think Cole Yzerman is going to be a good player, but I guess I'm saying, like, if you're talking about a guy who could really pay off just because of everything he brings with his shot, I think you're going Yzerman, but I'm going to lean slightly towards Eklund. I think Eklund, right now, might be the Isles' highest ranked prospect.
Phil?
He basically took everything I was going to say. Because just literally was going to be my entire argument for one over the other was going to be, what do you think is going to be the safer player? And I think Eklund, at the very least, Eklund is going to be a top 9 player. That's what the scouting reports have all said about him. He's got a motor. He's got a shot. I think he's going to be a top 6 guy personally, but there is more of a risk factor with Cole Yzerman because Cole Yzerman, his ceiling is probably higher, but I think the people for the people that believe that, you know, he could be a boom or bust type player are not wrong here. They're not, because there is the potential for him to be. I don't want to say this because I'm not trying to trash Cole Yzerman, but there's a lot of similarities to Oliver Wahlstrom. I think Cole Yzerman's the better player. I think he was the better goal scorer. I think if you look at the landscape of where Cole Yzerman was in the NCAA at the time of his development, as opposed to Oliver Wahlstrom, I'm going with Cole Yzerman 8 days a week over Oliver Wahlstrom. But it just another guy that's a more one-dimensional offensive shoot first type player. I'm gonna go Eklund because there is potential for him to not translate at that next level. Although I do think he's going to, there is more potential for it. It's like Anthony was alluding to. So I'm going Eklund here.
Yeah, Eklund, who got his first NHL point last night. You know, I've been on the Cole Yzerman train since I first watched him in the I think it was the under 17s or the under 16s. It was playing for Team USA. It was in like August. I forget which tournament that one is. But I've been riding this train for a while, and he was projected to be a high pick. He slid down to the Islanders at 20.
It's just funny. We talked about Caulfield before. Same thing happened to Caulfield. He slid, and
you know something, Anthony? I think you got 2 good players right here. I just think I love the way Yzerman shoots the puck. But you got to respect Eklund's playmaking abilities. I'm going to stay with Yzerman. I've been touting him for too long. I can't get off the train because I don't know if I could properly roll as I'm falling off that train. So why don't I just stay on it? And when he has his first 30-goal season, I can pat myself on the back. Phil, let's go over to you. More interesting player next season. Austin Matthews or Brady Tkachuk?
No, hold on. When you say interesting, you mean like in terms of this?
Everything encompasses in there. On ice, off ice.
Yeah, I know where he's going with this. Wow. The reports are the waters have gotten a little murky with Matthews,
Mm-hmm.
and then we all know about what's going on with Brady Tkachuk.
Well, it's not like the Canadian media wasn't trying to throw him out of some members of the Canadian Toronto media were trying to throw him out of Toronto.
Just because this would be a higher profile move if he was moved, and I think it would shock more people, I'm going to go Matthews. Just because I think it would shock more people. Tkachuk, I feel like he's inevitably gone. When, we don't know, but I feel like he's not finishing that contract in Ottawa, and for a variety of reasons. But if Matthews got moved this offseason, I think heads would explode. So I'm going Matthews.
Anthony?
I'm gonna go Matthews too. Just because at least Ottawa just made the playoffs for the second year in a row. So, whereas in Toronto, Matthews is coming off an injury, which he took a dirty hit and no one did anything about it. They fired their GM. So I think before he makes any kind of decision, he's going to want to know who the new GM is, talk to him about the vision, and then kind of make an informed decision on whether or not what he wants to do. So I think there's more room for just speculation with Matthews and talk. But I'm gonna go with Matthews. Although with that said, about Brady, I think Brady's following the same template as Quinn Hughes. He's got a couple of years left on his contract. Just like Vancouver realized they weren't going to be able to re-sign him, I think Ottawa's going to read the tea leaves and be like, hey, yes, he's not asking for a trade. He's not doing any of that. But let's face it, when his contract's up, if he has the opportunity to go to American market, I think everyone can see that coming and knows that's what he's going to do. So
yeah,
Ottawa may want to get ahead of it, just like Vancouver did, and trade Hughes now when you can get more value in return because he's not a rental.
Or even an American market where the press isn't trying to start fights with you and your teammates. It's like, yeah, great. I got a podcast. My dad said something. No, it wasn't about my goaltender. So let's get that one straight. I think it's Matthews too. And by the way, Anthony, they did do something. It took them 2 weeks. You should always wait 2 weeks to try to avenge somebody that just kneecapped your star player and your captain. I think Matthews is going to want out. I think it's just inevitable. They're shoving him out the door. And you know what? You don't know what you got till it's gone. As the old expression goes, or a Cinderella song, depending on which one you want to use.
That's true.
But this is Austin Matthews is one hell of a player. And then where are you going to send him? What's the new GM going to get back? You're talking about one of the best players in the league, but he's on a short-term, big money deal. I mean, they couldn't do anything when it was Mitch Marner. They couldn't get a good trade out of that. So they did their best. I'm interested to see where Matthews is going to go. Wouldn't it be funny if he went to Utah and went, hey, I'm coming home. Wait a minute. It's not Arizona. And the last one, Anthony, I'm going to go back to you for this one. Have you seen what the Sabres social media has been doing?
With the thing with Ryan Whitney, with the billboard?
Yeah, but not just that. It's they're telling fans, we got all the receipts.
Oh.
And they're going through people's Twitters and social media posts. So
I think it's funny. I think they're having fun with it. It's all in jest. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, because that's what I was going to ask you. Is it funny or is it going too far? But Phil, there's Anthony's answer before I even got the graphic up. What do you think?
Funny. I don't think they went too far in any of that. I saw that thread. Like it's just, and it really, honestly, I thought they would go a little harder on some of the fans that responded to it. They weren't pulling out fan receipts. Fans were responding and saying, "Yeah, I gave up on them," and the admin was just like, "Yeah, you did." And then it was just kind of like that.
Yeah.
It was it. So like again, this is another layup from you, Williams.
Well, well, here's the thing. In this particular case, all right,
what
hold
are
on.
you, Mo Williams of the Cleveland Cavaliers now? Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, I was saying more like I was John Stockton giving you those layups. right there. But I do think be careful with this. It's a slippery slope. Make sure you're having fun with it. Make sure it's a little bit tongue in cheek. Make sure everybody knows this. But also, it's don't let it get personal. Don't try to embarrass a fan or maybe email them first. So that we can be like, hey, we're going to share this post that you got. Because, I mean, after all, I try not to embarrass too many people on X whenever they have a bad post. But also, on the other hand, you've seen some of the doozies I've private messaged you guys. All right. You guys ready for some puck doku?
Bet your ass I am.
Sure, yeah.
All right. I'll go first. I'll just go first today, guys. All right, everybody. For the listening audience, you have Florida Panthers, Los Angeles Kings, and the Boston Bruins are our x-axis, and our y-axis is the Columbus Blue Jackets, the St. Louis Blues, and drafted after the second round. Oh, I'm boned because I have to remember I too was drafted after the second.
This I could do.
All right. Okay. So a Florida Panther and a St. Louis Blue. I believe that is Stefan Matteau. How is it? I forgot his name. I forgot to spell his name.
2 T's, EAU.
Yeah, I thought it was. Oh, that's right. I kept putting in the H. Stefan Matteau. There we go. He's a 0.3. All right. A Boston Bruin and a St. Louis Blue. I could go Brad Boyes or even Dennis Weidman, but I would have to think about somebody else right there first. A Blue and a King. Let's go Roman Vopat.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm at 2%. So
wow.
I'm already too high.
Jeez. What the
hell?
wow.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't have saw that.
That dude, I am completely, and I mean completely jaw drop at that one, dude. Jaw drop.
He was traded for Wayne Gretzky. John Casey, I believe, fits this. 0.8. A Columbus Blue Jacket and LA King. Shoot. I want to say it's Mark Fitzpatrick. I just can't remember if he played for Columbus. Anthony's already probably smiling right now. And screw it. Let's go. And I think I'm Mark Fitzpatrick. Let's see. Oh, no, wrong.
No, I knew it. I wasn't gonna stave you. I was gonna let you.
All right. Well, let me finish this. So I might as well just get it all out. Jean-Luc Grandpierre did both these. That's wrong on that one.
Oh,
wow.
God.
Oh my goodness. 1,000.
No more.
All right. So let's just get Jeff Carter out there. Let's just do this one. There's 23%. I was doing for the start. I wasn't getting anybody in the draft from the second round plus unless I could remember it. I don't think Paul Laws was. Yep, he was the first rounder. There we go. See, this is how bad
I'll go after I'll go.
Okay, let's just put me out of my misery.
Yeah, you were done, dude.
Yeah.
Don't look at stats, players. That shows. All right, good.
No. Yeah,
okay,
right.
Phil, you're going.
So top left, I'm gonna go Mr. former Buffalo Sabre general manager, big city Kevin Adams. No, that's Chris George. No, top left.
Top left.
Oh, top left, you said.
Yeah.
Just
it won't let me.
Florida and St. Louis. Go Brian Benning.
Okay.
Stuck on stupid because I have the world's worst phone.
Not a bad one.
Boston and Columbus. Give me Steve Hines, Mark.
Yeah, that's a good one. Boston and Columbus.
I think it might be. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not.
1%er.
Okay. It's not terrible. LA and Columbus.
LA.
Give me former Ranger Sean Pronger.
Yeah.
No, not Chris.
No, I know. I got it. I was moving it down. By the way, Chris Pronger just came out with a new book. I was looking for it the other day. But...
Anthony's going to hate me right now, but give me Constant Crossman on LA and St. Louis.
Oh.
Constant Crossman, which I should have realized that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boston and St. Louis. Former Ranger Glenn Featherstone.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Boston, drafted second round or later, give me Peter Kalus. Kalus. It's yeah, the top one. LA, give me Konstantin Pushkarev.
Who?
Konstantin Pushkarev. He was drafted, I believe, in the second round in 2003.
Konstantin
Pushkarev. Yeah, the middle one. Yeah,
got it. Okay.
And then Florida, give me Camille Krebs.
Wow.
K-A-M-I-L. Yeah,
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, you need the score 1, Phil. Can Anthony be perfect, and will he do a theme today?
Yeah, he tries to do themes all the time, so I want to see if
I was gonna say when you were mentioning about Callus, I was gonna say that he's obviously very shallowed.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's
please stop.
Yeah, I could come up with that joke. I couldn't remember anybody in the second round.
Maria, how do you deal with that?
No comment.
No.
More importantly, my poor brother-in-law, who always has to groan anytime I ever say a joke.
Oh yeah, it's every time Mark does one of those, I always think of like a sitcom from like the 80s or 90s, and everybody just goes, Mark.
Yeah.
Tell them what your brother-in-law does. No, that's me.
Yeah, I can see that.
What is it? What does he do?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And just variations on it.
Yeah.
Anthony, shoot away. What do you got?
So Panthers, Blue Jackets. I'm gonna go Darren Van Impe.
Oh, that's a good one. You could have used him for Boston too, I believe. Yeah, he was a Boston.
There we
go. Kings, Blue Jackets. I'll go Jamie Heward.
It's a good one.
How do we spell Heward?
Heward.
That's okay. Because kept on putting a Y in there for some reason.
No.
Bruins, Blue Jackets. So here I can go Brian Berard. I can go Matthias Tamander.
I know where you're going.
I'll go Matthias Tamander.
Yep.
Although Berard would probably be low too. And how many people remember him as a Blue Jacket?
0.6. Still alive.
Nice
face right here. Like looks like he's doing an Elvis impression. Oh, don't be cruel.
Panthers, Blues. I'll go Sean Hill.
0.5.
Now this is where Phil screwed me. I can't use constant crossman. Go back to that one. Bruins Blues. I'll do Jamie Rivers.
Point one.
Wow. Very good.
All right.
Very
Now the
good.
bottom three.
I was afraid to use Sean Hill there.
Bruins drafted second round. I'm just guessing here. I'm assuming he was Bob Beers. I know he was a Bruins draft pick. I just
0.5.
Wow. Very good.
Kings. I can go Lubomir Snovsky, Alexei Zhitnik, Grabeshkov was first round.
I know.
Go Zhitnik. Go Zhitnik here.
This is on the Kings, right?
Yep.
0.6.
Wow.
Two more.
Panthers second round pick or more above. I don't know if there's an try I mean he's not an Islander, but Yaroslav Spacek.
Yaroslav Spacek. Okay.
Yeah, I think he made his debut with Florida.
I believe you're correct. And he's at a 0.5. Anthony, you got to get a less than a 1 to win this.
Cliff Ronning.
Cliff Ronning, is he less than a 1 for Anthony to hold his puck doku crown?
Wow.
He's got a score of 0. Cliff Ronning had a 0.9.
Well done.
Well done. Well done, Mr. Anthony. Well done.
Sir.
All right. The Puck Doku Pyramid. We are starting with the Vancouver Canucks, a defenseman, and 500 plus games in their career. The second level is an LA King and a Chicago Blackhawk, and then they have to be a Stanley Cup winner. So, who are we starting with for the Vancouver Canucks?
Is this Brent Sopel?
Might be.
I believe it might be, yeah. So, name any Vancouver Canuck in their history. I'll start it with Nathan Lafayette. There you go. Now I got a name of a Vancouver Canuck defenseman.
You know what? Save Didick for the next one. Defenseman Canucks 500 games played.
Didick didn't play for the
Babbage would also fit there.
He did. Canuck.
Dave Babbage played for Chicago?
What?
Did Dave Babbage play for Chicago? I think he played for LA.
Sopel fits. Babbage played for LA, not for Chicago.
You could do anybody. You could do.
Played 8 games.
No, I know. We're holding on to Didick for the next one. I'm just prepping the one after that. So we need any Canuck defenseman.
Go Dana Merzen.
Dana Merzen?
Yeah. Murzyn.
Murzy. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so Daily Didick is right here. And we have Dave Babbage, I believe, is right here. Just want to make sure there was.
We got to think of another one, though, because I think Babbage might be popular.
Okay. All right, so Kings Canucks.
And they got to play 500 games.
Did Adrian O'Coin play for LA? No, right?
No.
Matthew Schneider?
It's a defenseman that have played 500 games for both LA and
I'll check in Matthew Schneider real quick.
I know Matthew Schneider played for Vancouver at the end of his career. I don't
think
know.
he played for the Canucks, Schneider.
He did at the very end of his career.
And he did play for he played for LA.
Dude.
Thank you,
I know he
Schneider.
played for LA that in the early 2000s.
I am kind of thinking Matthew Schneider. No objections yet. Or we're going Matthew Schneider.
All right,
You
go
need to
Matthew
score
Schneider. We'll
3.
see what happens.
Okay.
Yep, thought so.
All right. Blackhawks.
So here is where you can use Sopel, but if he's the only answer, then we're fucked. So I don't know if he's the only answer though.
That's why
Carney?
Who?
Keith
I don't
Carney?
think Keith Carney played for Vancouver. I remember him playing for Anaheim and Chicago.
He played for Vancouver.
I don't think he did.
18 games
Keith
with
Carney
Vancouver.
fits there.
Did he play for LA?
No. Keith Carney did not play for LA.
Did not play for LA.
Sean O'Donnell?
Keith Carney would have been good to use before Matthew Schneider.
Sean O'Donnell never played for Vancouver.
Man.
Sean O'Donnell, I don't think played for Chicago.
No, he did.
I know he
last
played
season.
for LA, but I don't think he played for Chicago.
He played for Chicago last year.
Then Sean O'Donnell fits. Sean O'Donnell might be an answer to this as well.
Sean O'Donnell never played for Vancouver.
He never played for Vancouver?
Never played for Vancouver.
No, he never did. Shit. Murray Barron never played for Chicago.
He's a center anyway.
Murray Barron's a center. Murray Barron is a forward.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Murray Barron's a defenseman, buddy. Murray Barron?
Yeah. Murray Barron was the center for Pavel Bore in the 94 finals. Murray Barron is the
that's
center.
Murray Craven.
Oh, Murray Craven. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's right. Yeah, sorry. Phil is right.
Yeah.
Phil is right.
Phil is right.
No.
Phil is right. I am
Barron was
dumb.
No, you wasn't just you, Mark. I thought the same thing. I don't know why I was thinking Murray Craven. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we should have held on because we could have probably used Murray Barron before.
No, Barron did not play for LA though. I'm seeing.
No, he
did not
didn't.
play
He
for
played for
LA.
Vancouver and St. Louis, but not LA. So we would have had to use him, and then Didick.
Didick never played for LA.
Yeah, Didick. We couldn't use Didick past LA.
What about Edler? Edler never played for Chicago, did he?
No, Edler did play for LA though, right?
Yeah, and Czech Brett didn't play.
Yeah, Edler played for LA.
Yeah, no Chicago.
No Chicago.
Yeah, but he would have been too obvious though, Edler, because he's a recent guy and he played for Vancouver for years, and then a lot of fans would remember him going to LA. So he would have been an obvious one. Think more obvious than Matthew Schneider too.
What about? I know he played for LA and Vancouver. Aaron Miller, the Avalanche. Did he play for the Chicago at all?
Aaron Miller, I don't think played for.
Never played for Chicago.
Chicago. I think John Clem played for Chicago though. No, Aaron Miller never played for Chicago. John Clem, I don't think played for Vancouver though.
That's correct.
He played for LA. Yeah, he played for LA and Chicago.
We were cruising on this. Now is where we are.
I just don't know if there's anybody other than Brent Sopel because I don't want to put Sopel here and then we lose. That's the thing.
There's somebody else besides Brent Sopel.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Ugh, man, this is tough.
What about Kevin Bieksa or Willie Mitchell? Any of them?
Bieksa played for Anaheim and LA, and Vancouver. I don't think he played for Chicago or
who was the other one?
LA.
Anthony?
He played for Anaheim and Vancouver.
Willie Mitchell?
Willie Mitchell, I think, fits all of those.
Willie Mitchell fits all of them.
He played for Chicago?
Willie Mitchell fits all.
Oh no, wait, no, it's the Devils.
How do you confuse New Jersey and
about to say, I
Chicago?
don't remember.
No, because I looked at the
Oh.
jerseys.
Yeah, I was about to say he was drafted by the Devils, Willie Mitchell. I know that. You could have used him for one before.
Alec Martinez played for LA and Chicago, but not Vancouver, right?
No, he didn't play for Vancouver. LA, Vegas, and Chicago.
Bieksa, no. What about Christian Ehrhoff?
All right, Christian
I
Ehrhoff.
don't think he played for LA.
Oh, he played for Vancouver, LA, and Chicago.
Yes, he did. So there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
Okay, so then Christian Ehrhoff then. He fits the amount of games.
But Ehrhoff didn't win a Stanley Cup, so you got to put it in the right order. You got to put Ehrhoff
Yes,
here.
Ehrhoff is this one.
Ehrhoff is going to be for Chicago.
Ehrhoff is this one. Sopel is this one.
Yeah, we went to
So that's how we got it. Brent Sopel was the only answer at the top. Christian Ehrhoff was the number one answer, though, on the second one. Jerry Carab. How do we not know who that was?
Who?
That's literally
Rod Buskis.
Rod
that's one we.
Who are those other two names?
Rod
Buskis and Jerry who?
Never heard of them.
Yeah. Memorable. They would have fit
Jerry
obscure
Korab?
pretty well.
Yeah, Jerry Korab would have been a real. He would have been. Oh, we couldn't use him for obscurities. Not enough teams.
Yeah. All right. Hey guys, I gotta have to cut it off right there, unfortunately for me. Do we have any questions or anything that people wanted to throw out there? Or
I mean, I can do obscurities with Anthony if you want, but
I have name. Mark, you don't have names?
I got the names. I could go, but we'd have to go fast though, guys.
All right. Well,
okay.
Go as fast as we can.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, everybody. It's obscurities. It's where you do a player and then we have to guess it.
All right. Do you want to go first then? I got my three for you, Mark. Let's just. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
I'm right here. I just had to check something real quick.
All right, Mark.
Okay.
You ready? Mark, Phil, you have the timer for him?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Mark, your first player played 1,001 career games. He played for 6 teams. His name is Steve Stais.
Steve Stais played for the Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames,
Yep.
the Ottawa Senators.
No Senators.
Okay. The Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Vancouver Canucks.
Yes.
LA Kings.
No.
The Atlanta Thrashers.
Yes.
Okay. And the Boston Bruins.
Yes.
And Buffalo Sabres.
No, you missed the New York Islanders.
I get the
Got 5 out of the 6 though.
5 out of
That's a
6.
That's a good going for Mark.
Good start. That's a good start.
All right.
Yep. All right, Mark. Your next player played in 268 career games. He played for 7 teams. His name is John Slaney.
John Slaney.
Yep.
The Boston Bruins.
No.
The New Jersey Devils.
No.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
Philadelphia Flyers.
Yes.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
No.
Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Atlanta Thrashers.
No.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
No.
The Carolina Hurricanes.
No.
LA Kings.
Yes.
San Jose Sharks.
No.
You didn't get
You
the
got
Sharks.
3.
But
You missed Predators, Coyotes, Avalanche, and Capitals.
I knew the Capitals, I knew the Coyotes, and I knew the Predators.
I
That
just
was- those
found
were
out
my
he
names.
existed, so that was a little bit more surprised about that one.
3 on that one, so 8.
3 on that one.
Okay.
Mark's got 8 so far.
And your last player. Let's pull them up again to read you the amount of games. Come on, Computadora. All right. Your last player.
Feel free to put some questions in for later.
Your last player, Mark, played in 1,008 career games. He played for 5 teams. His name is Jason Smith.
Oh wow. Detroit Red Wings?
No.
The Calgary Flames?
No.
Vancouver Canucks?
No.
The LA Kings?
No.
The San Jose Sharks?
No.
Anaheim Ducks?
No.
The Colorado Avalanche?
Coyotes.
No.
The Coyotes?
No.
Okay. The Florida Panthers?
No.
New York Islanders?
No.
So there are 3 teams I can tell you right away. Edmonton, New Jersey, and Toronto were 3 teams right off the bat.
Okay. I obviously had no idea who Jason Smith was.
Philly, Ottawa, and then like Phil said, New Jersey, Toronto.
I think
Edmonton.
I might vaguely remember him in
He
Philadelphia.
was their captain when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2006.
Yeah.
He was a long-time Edmonton Oiler.
Wow, that's a first. You just got a goose egg on a player that played over 1,000 games.
I know, but because I still had no idea who the hell he was.
All right. So
All right,
that's
I'll give my next 3. I guess Phil, I got 3 for you.
All right.
All right. Anthony, ready with the timer?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yep.
So you got 8 for your first round, Mark.
And it was all in the first 2.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Phil, your first player played 646 games. He played for 5 teams. His name is Kent Manderville.
Carolina.
1.
Calgary.
Nope.
Columbus.
Nope.
Islanders.
Nope.
Philadelphia.
2.
Boston.
Nope.
Hartford.
Nope.
San Jose.
Nope.
Toronto.
3.
Atlanta.
No.
Florida.
Time.
You got 3 of them. The ones that you missed: Pittsburgh and Edmonton.
Pittsburgh and Edmonton. Damn it. All right.
Pittsburgh and Edmonton. So we got a 3 for Phil.
I remember Edmonton. I don't remember him in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Phil, this guy played 630 games in his career. He played for 6 teams. And his name, Tom Kostopoulos.
Pittsburgh.
1.
Tampa.
Nope.
Rangers.
Nope.
Philadelphia.
No.
Buffalo.
Nope.
Florida.
Nope.
Carolina.
2.
Calgary.
3.
Edmonton.
No.
San Jose.
Nope.
LA.
4.
Chicago.
Time. Sorry, I was muted. Time.
All right. No, Chicago wasn't there anyway. The ones you missed: Montreal and New Jersey.
Damn it. I remember Montreal. I don't remember New Jersey.
Yeah. So let's go on. You got it was 4 on that one, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
right?
4.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. There we go. Updating the leaderboard. All right, Phil, here you go to pass me right now. You got a guy that played 324 games in their career. He played for 5 NHL teams. His name is Matt D'Agostini.
Montreal.
1.
Toronto.
Nope.
Calgary.
Nope.
Boston.
Nope.
Ottawa.
No.
Tampa.
No.
New Jersey.
2.
Philadelphia.
Nope.
Atlanta.
Nope.
San Jose.
Nope.
Time.
Anaheim.
Time.
And yeah, time it wasn't right anyway, Phil.
No.
So you got 2. You passed me for 9. The ones you missed: St. Louis Buffalo, and
Fuck, I
Pittsburgh.
remember seeing this. But what was the other one? Buffalo and
Pittsburgh.
I remember St. Louis. The other two, I don't think I would have gotten. Shit. All right.
All
Mark,
right.
I'll give you mine for you.
Okay. Well, let's get one in for Anthony.
Okay, I'll give Anthony his then.
All right.
All right. Anthony, this player has played. Mark, tell me, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. This player has played 866 games over 6 teams. Anthony, this is Randy Cunneyworth.
The Whalers.
Yes.
Penguins.
Yes.
Senators.
Yes.
Rangers.
No.
Bruins.
No.
Sabres.
Yes.
Maple Leafs.
No.
Winnipeg Jets.
Yes.
Anaheim Ducks.
No.
And time.
5.
The other one you missed was Chicago.
By the way, Randy Cunneyworth, I mentioned his name yesterday. He was the first Habs coach that really didn't know any English. French, I mean.
All right, Anthony. So your next player has played 874 games over 6 teams. Mark, you ready?
Got it.
Anthony, this is Rich Sutter.
Blues.
Yes.
Blackhawks.
Yes.
Penguins.
Yes. Wow. Can't believe it.
Bruins.
No.
Canadians.
No.
Winnipeg Jets.
No.
Hartford Whalers.
No.
Islanders.
No.
Maple Leafs.
Yes.
Time.
4.
So you missed Tampa, Chicago, and Vancouver.
All right. So how many does that bring him to?
That was 4.
So he's
5.
9
You
right
said the
now.
Flyers, Anthony?
No, I did not say Flyers.
Okay, then he only got 3, I believe.
All right, then he only got 3?
He got St. Louis, he got
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, and Toronto. No, Boston was not one of them.
Oh, okay. So
he
8.
got 3 there.
Okay. Phil, give him his last one.
All right, Anthony. All right, I'm gonna have to move one over. Fuck. I fucked up here. Oh shit, I fucked up because I forgot that this player missed the 100-game mark. Fuck, I got up. All right, so I'm gonna move one over. Oh shit. Damn it. You know what? No, I gotta leave those for Mark. I'm sorry, Anthony. We'll come back to you.
We'll come back to him. We'll give him the other one.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got Phil's 3 then if you want.
Do my 3 so that way.
All right.
I give Phil a second.
I already gave you your 3.
Oh, that's right. Phil cast. All right. Either way, Phil's got to do it. All right.
All right, Mark. I'll give you your 3 then.
All right.
Yeah, because wait, Anthony, I could give Anthony his 3.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that works.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That way, Phil, you got a minute. I knew there was somebody. Phil, you ready with the timer?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Anthony, my first player for you, played 817 games in his career. He played for 6 franchises. His name is Ray Shepard.
Rangers.
1.
Red Wings.
2.
Whalers.
No.
Hurricanes.
There's 3.
Winnipeg Jets.
Nope.
Calgary Flames.
No.
Montreal Canadiens.
Nope.
Boston Bruins.
Nope.
Flyers?
Nope.
Ducks? Sharks?
Stop.
Sharks you got in time.
4.
All right. Phil,
4,
that was
yeah.
a buzzer beater, right? All right.
Yeah, he got it in like the same exact. It was a tie. So
Yeah, because he said Ducks, Sharks at the same time.
All right, Anthony, I got your last one, by the way.
All
right. So, Mark, you ready with the timer?
Yes, I am.
Okay. This player played in 1,028 games over 18 years with 9 teams. Anthony, this is Grant Ledyard.
Dallas Stars?
Yes.
Boston Bruins?
Yes.
Montreal Canadiens?
No.
Vancouver Canucks?
Yes.
Washington Capitals?
Yes.
Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
The San Jose Sharks?
No.
Chicago Blackhawks?
No.
The
Time.
Oilers?
Fine. No, you still wouldn't have gotten it anyway. You were behind. All right. So
All right.
you
How
got
many do you
4
have
on
right
that.
there?
4.
He got 4 on that one. So he got
Okay,
Dallas,
4 on that one. That puts him up to
Buffalo,
16.
Washington, and Vancouver. He missed LA. Tampa, Ottawa, and he LA, Tampa, Rangers, and Ottawa. He missed.
Anthony, you want to hold your last 2 so that way you go last?
Wait, Anthony, you said Boston, right?
Yes.
So he got 5 on that one. Sorry.
Okay, so we got 5, so he's up to 17.
Yeah.
I almost said Rangers, but I'm like, I don't think he played for the Rangers.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, give me my 3 because we'll save my last 2 for Anthony in case if he needs them.
Okay.
We've done Grant Ledyard at least multiple times on this in this game, and nobody's gotten perfect.
This player has played 606 games over 11 years for 5 teams. Mark, this is Jared Smithson.
Ooh.
Oh God, I'm boned. The Arizona Coyotes.
No.
The Anaheim Ducks.
No.
LA Kings.
Yes.
Okay. San Jose Sharks.
No.
Vancouver Canucks.
No.
Colorado Avalanche.
No.
St. Louis Blues.
No.
Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Minnesota Wild.
No.
Time.
So you only got LA. You missed Nashville, Florida, Toronto, and Edmonton.
I went the other direction. I should have went down. I should have went up. Obviously, I had no idea who this guy was.
I vividly remember Nashville and Edmonton. I don't know how many of others I would have.
Yeah, Nashville and Edmonton.
If I would have kept going
Nashville
north.
was the team that he played with the most, like by far.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to need a heroic comeback now.
All right, Mark. This player has played 406 games over 8 years with 6 teams. Mark, this is Mike Santorelli.
Oh, I am just getting boned. Calgary Flames.
No.
The red jersey. The Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Florida Panthers.
Yes.
Okay, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
No.
The Carolina Hurricanes.
No.
Washington Capitals.
No.
The Dallas Stars.
No.
The
Anaheim
Ducks.
I'll give him the Ducks. He was
All
mid
right,
saying it. He didn't finish it, but he
he got it.
So
Yeah.
I'll give him that. He missed Nashville, Toronto, Vancouver, and the Winnipeg Jets.
You know what? Nashville, I should have remembered.
Yeah, that's
Nashville.
what I remember him again, Nashville.
Okay.
Okay, Mark. This one I think you'll do a better job with.
Eh.
This player has played 120 games over 10 years with 7 teams. Mark, this is Dallas Eakins.
Okay, Dallas Eakins. The New York Rangers.
Yes.
The Anaheim Ducks.
No.
Okay, the Edmonton Oilers.
No.
The Dallas Stars.
No.
Okay, the LA Kings.
No.
The Vancouver Canucks.
No.
Oh, geez. Wow. The New York Islanders.
Yes.
Time.
Okay, the Buffalo Sabres.
Time.
2.
So you missed St. Louis, Toronto, Calgary, Phoenix, and Florida.
He coached the Ducks and the Oilers, correct?
That's the confusing part.
All right. Phil, you want my 3?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mark, you got the timer?
I got the timer.
So what's your total at now then, Mark?
I'm at 13.
All right.
5 were on the first guess.
You gotta hope Phil bombs. All right.
I'm already boned.
All right. Phil, your first player played in 536 career games over 5 teams. His name is Matthew Lombardi.
Calgary.
Yep.
Columbus.
No.
LA.
No.
Toronto.
Yes.
Boston.
No.
Pittsburgh.
No.
Florida.
No.
San Jose.
No.
Vancouver.
No.
Nashville.
Yes.
Ottawa.
No.
Tampa.
No.
Detroit.
No.
Time.
You missed Phoenix and Anaheim.
Fuck, I knew there was a Western team.
And there was 3 out of that?
Yeah, you got 3, yep.
So 3 gets
Right.
him
So
up
I
to
need 5. I need 6 to win over these next 2. Okay.
All right. Your next player, pull him up here again. Your next player played in 253 career games over 6 teams. His name is Alexander Picard.
Washington.
No.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Columbus.
No.
Tampa.
Yes.
Anaheim.
No.
San Jose.
No.
Nashville.
No.
Florida.
No.
Carolina.
Yes.
Boston.
No.
Chicago.
No.
Detroit.
No.
Toronto.
No.
Edmonton.
No.
Vancouver.
No.
Time. Calgary.
You missed Ottawa, Montreal, and Pittsburgh. You got.
Wait, I thought I said Ottawa. I didn't say Ottawa?
I have you as Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, and Carolina.
I thought I said Ottawa. Well, could be wrong. Whatever.
All right, so that gets him to 15. All right, Philk.
He's got one more.
Anthony. Go ahead.
So how many do I need then?
15, right? You need 2 to pass.
I need 3 to win.
Sorry,
I need 3 to win, 2 to tie.
But remember,
Anthony still has my 2 I have to give him.
Mark's supposed to give me his. He only gave me 1.
Oh yeah, shit.
All right. Your last player, he played in 205 career games over 5 teams. His name is Nate Ginnon.
Rangers?
No.
Colorado.
Yes.
Boston.
No.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Buffalo.
No.
Nashville.
No.
San Jose.
No.
Toronto.
No.
Winnipeg.
No.
Calgary.
No.
Carolina.
Time.
No. You got Colorado and Philly. You missed Anaheim, Columbus, and Pittsburgh.
All right. So Phil
He was a Ranger draft pick, Nate Gannon.
He was. Yep. 4th round. Yep.
Phil ties. Anthony, here you go. Your last, you're gonna get at least 1 out of these last 2. I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Here's the first one. Phil, you ready with timer?
Give me a second. Go ahead.
This guy played 210 games in the NHL for 7 organizations. and his name is Adam Cracknell.
Dallas Stars.
That's one.
Boston Bruins.
Nope.
Edmonton Oilers.
2.
Philadelphia Flyers.
Nope.
Ottawa Senators.
Nope.
Colorado Avalanche.
Nope.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
There's 3.
Rangers.
4.
Maple Leafs.
Nope.
Jets.
The what?
Jets.
No, time. I actually
no, fortunately not the
went
Jets.
over- I'm not sure if he got the Rangers in before the time.
He got the Rangers in before the time.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had him for 3.
Because I went. Yeah, I went over on my fault.
Oh, okay. Well, once he got the first one, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
he's
matter.
already the obscurities winner for the day. However, Anthony,
2017-18 for a handful of games. That's right. Wow.
So,
I
Anthony,
forgot.
your final one, if you want to do it.
Yeah, go.
It's an easy one for you.
Oh, geez.
It is 385 games in his career. He played for 5 teams. His name is Derek Armstrong.
I always get confused with Chris. Rangers.
That's 1.
Islanders.
2.
Kings.
3.
Ducks.
No.
Senators.
4.
Bruins.
No.
Sharks.
Nope.
Predators.
Nope.
Flyers.
Nope.
Time.
The Blues.
The Blues.
The Blues.
Anthony, winner.
Anthony is the winner. And by the way, everybody, do not forget to
I
hype
go harder
us.
on you guys.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I should have
No, I know. You're
switched
the one that told me.
Smithson and the other one around on Anthony.
That's
I
how I
didn't think
found
you would
out.
get Randy Cunningworth.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's given someone Randy Cunningworth before, so I
know I definitely did. So
I think I might have used him before. I just was kind of scrambling for names. So
I was thinking maybe I did Ken Manderville twice. That's a different story.
The biggest surprise was Mark getting a 0 on Jason Smith, who played over 1,000 games.
Yeah, but I mean, Jason Smith, I don't know which one he played with. I mean, there's so many. You can get somebody named Smith, but it's
I know it's a common basic name, but I was surprised. I thought you were going to remember him as the Oilers captain, and
you know what, I could have, but I was still thinking he was a guy on the Red Wings. But that's I might have been thinking of Jason Williams, but that's a different story. Yeah.
All right.
But, so we got. Do we have any questions that anybody wants to answer or do a little Q&A before we run on out?
So I mean, not Q&A, but I do have some notes. So I mentioned earlier the Islanders signed Quinn Finley to his ELC. So he's going to be going to Bridgeport. He just has to sign his ATO, his amateur tryout. And then also Danny Prokhorov, who the Islanders drafted last year, is also on his way to North America and will be joining in signing, and he's going to be joining Bridgeport. So Matthew Darche is loading up with the Islanders' top prospects in Bridgeport for their last season existing and in the playoffs. And then also Cal Ritchie, the Islanders announced Cal Ritchie because he's eligible. He's going to be joining Bridgeport for the playoffs too. So you're talking, Ritchie. What?
That's good. Given what Bridgeport was last year, I think they owe it to the fans over there.
Yeah, it just sucks they're moving because they're going to have all of a sudden, next year you're going to have in Hamilton, you're going to have, well, maybe not. Eklund might make team, but Eklund, Yzerman, Finley, Prokhorov, all these guys coming in, and of course they're going to leave. And then the other bit of news, Semyon Varlamov, clap to him, man, not giving up. He's starting tonight in goal for Bridgeport, his first professional hockey game in, almost 2 calendar years, as he continues to try to bounce back from double knee replacement. So I credit. Varley for not giving up there.
And of course, everybody out there, say a prayer for my brother-in-law Michael, who's going through a hard time, medically speaking, right now. Just wishing him full health and ASAP. And I was emotional talking about it last week. It's still difficult. So it's just everybody just send all your positive thoughts out there and just keep it going, because our family could certainly use it.
Yeah, very much so. My prayers are with you and Maria and our whole family. It's always a shitty thing, and just life's precious.
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely,
it is.
Some things happen, and you often wonder, what, like why, and it makes no sense. But it's always times like that you lean on the people that you love and that are in your family, and just it's all you can do. Sucks.
Yeah, and it sucks because the way that I always say it is, you always want more time, and just simply put, that's what we always want. We just always want more time, and hopefully we're gonna get it. We're all positive. We could just use more positive thoughts. So.
Yeah. All right, listen, there's something to be said with the power of prayer, So
yeah,
I fully, I fully very much believe that.
Yeah. All right, Anthony, we're gonna sign us off right there. Yep. I know Phil is there, guys. It is always a great time every single week to do this. We love doing this. Keep recommending us everywhere, wherever you get your podcasts. YouTube, everything. Look for us for more segments that are going to be coming out soon. Just everybody, thank you, and we'll see you. Actually, we'll see you probably in a couple days. Unfortunately, we're going to be short Anthony because he's taking another trip. But enjoy Kentucky.
Thank you.
Yeah, and enjoy that there. And I want to see some pictures from the Louisville Slugger Museum. Since you're going to be going there, because I mean, even though I'm a Marucci guy, but still, it's good to do that. Although I'm going to be headed back up to Cooperstown again in June with my wife, and we can't wait to do that. Because
what brought you to Kentucky when you went to Louisville?
A friend of mine, it was his original idea for his bachelor party to go for the Kentucky Derby, as well as go on the Bourbon Trail. Go see a bunch of distilleries and stuff like that. And then we thought we were going to do Lake Tahoe. We ended up doing South Padre Island in Texas instead. But then he still wanted to do it, and we just did that. The following year, we ended up doing a couple baseball parks. That was St. Louis and Kansas City. And Nashville. That was the year that the Rangers drafted Gabe Perreault and actually did the entire stream in my hotel room. So that was fun. I mean, everybody's out in Nashville, like, oh, look at everybody there, right there. But no, but no, Kentucky's it's a good time. I'm trying to think of the place that I was at. That was a lot of fun when we were there. I want to say it was called Active. That was a good place.
Okay.
It made us feel like we were teenagers all over again. So try to see if you look that up. I think I'll see if I got the right name for it, Anthony. You can bring the kids. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's I'm just distracted. I'm sorry. My mind's a little bit elsewhere. All right, guys. Again, have a good night. Have a good week. And we're going to see you again soon. And hopefully there's Stanley Cup predictions. And even though we won't have Anthony, we will have his predictions. All right. Yep. Take care. And see you on the next one.
See you, Mark.